Chapter 1687. Ji Luiyu said that she could help with the materials. That's good. So don't say anything embarrassing. When you go back, just enjoy yourself. Ling Xiao said with a smile. I know. Ji Luiyu nodded and did not refuse. Oh, right, you said that the Tianhai Empire has 4 young geniuses. I've seen Mu Wanchuang. She's as cold as ice and her strength is terrifying. But this woman is too scheming. I don't like her. Ling Xiao suddenly thought of something else and said, You said that Mu Wanchuang is scheming? Why do I feel that she only has eyes for Fan Rohai? Ji Luoyu was stunned. You haven't experienced political intrigue, so you don't understand. Fan Rohai is very powerful, and Mu Wanchuang is not bad either. Both of them are 1,000-year-old foxes. They're very terrifying. Ling Xiao shook his head. Is Sun Lingchan as beautiful as Mu Wanchuang? What? You're interested in that woman. Don't forget, she's the daughter of the medicine king, Sun Sa. Ji Luiyu was a little unhappy. Haha, I just want to know myself and my enemy. I should have a chance to fight with them at the White Tiger meet, right? Ling Xiao smiled bitterly. I see. Then I can tell you that Sun Lingchan is more terrifying than Mu Wanchuang. Mu Wanchuang only has a powerful cultivation and is scheming. Sun Lingchan, on the other hand, had more tricks up her sleeves. Under her pomegranate skirt, who knew how many experts with profound cultivation had bowed before her. Not only are there young experts, but there are also some old men who are hundreds of years old. Ji Luiyu spoke of Sun Lingchan with obvious disdain. Although Sun Lingchan is a disciple of her father, the medicine king Sun Sa, she has learned many things. The most powerful things she learned from her father were knockout drugs and hallucinogens. You know these drugs. They can confuse a person's mind. In addition, she has outstanding looks. It's no wonder that she has so many love puppets. Interesting. It sounds like another woman with a heart as vicious as snakes and scorpions. Ling Xiao had seen many such women, so after hearing Ji Luiyu's description, he quickly had a clear impression in his mind. Don't think it's funny. If you meet her now, you'll definitely lose. Anyway, I feel that she's much scarier than Mu Wanchuang. You're not even a match for Mu Wanchuang, right? Ji Luoyu reminded. I admit that, but so what? Mu Wanchuang is 5 years older than me. Sun Lingchan should be around the same age, right? Ling Xiao was very confident in his own cultivation speed. Yes, Sun Lingchan is 1 year older than Mu Wanchuang. Ji Luoyu nodded. He, as expected. What about the other 2 young geniuses? Ling Xiao asked with a smile. As for the other 2, one is the publicly recognized number 1, tyrannical Heavenly Ocean. He's the crown prince of the Heavenly Ocean Empire. There are even rumors that the emperor of the Heavenly Ocean Empire has decided to pass the throne to him. Tyrannical Heavenly Ocean rarely makes a move, but every time he does, it shocks the world. Mu Wanchuang and Sun Lingchan have both fought with him before, but they were both defeated. Therefore, the 2 of them can only be ranked together in 2nd place because they have never had a clear winner. Ji Luoyu replied, Tyrannical Heavenly Ocean. What a domineering name. Ling Xiao frowned. He immediately thought of Phoenix, Cry Chishan. He was also a domineering person, but compared to Tyrannical Heavenly Ocean, he was like a firefly competing with the sun and moon. The enemy was stronger, and Ling Xiao's pressure was greater. He was more eager to improve his strength. Right? Didn't you just say that Sun Lingchan is stronger than Mu Wanchuang? Ling Xiao asked curiously. If it's a chaotic battle, that's naturally the case. Sun Lingchan's knockout powder is too powerful. But if it's a one-on-one fight, Mu Wanchuang has her own unique skills. She won't be afraid of Sun Lingchan. Ji Luoyu explained. Then who's ranked 4th? Ling Xiao asked again. Ranked 4th is Sacred Sword of Wind Devil from Heavenly Ocean Academy. Ji Luoyu replied. Although these 4 are ranked differently, they're basically on the same level. There's not much difference in strength, so any one of them has a chance of winning. The first person after these four is the water god, son of the water god. He's your enemy, so be careful. TSK, TSK, tyrannical heavenly ocean, Sun Lingchan, Mu Wan Shuang, sacred sword of wind devil, water god. Interesting, interesting. Ling Xiao was very excited. If Heavenly Ocean Empire had such powerful four people, then White Tiger Empire, Silver Fox Empire, and Full Moon Empire would probably have them too. As for Righteous Sect, whose influence was the largest and strongest, it was needless to say. The number of experts they had was probably even greater than the four great empires. To be able to spar with so many experts was truly a blessing. Seeing how excited you are, I must pour a bucket of cold water on you. You'd better not provoke the 5 people I mentioned before. Ji Luoyu reminded him. Actually, if you want to find someone to spar with, other than the 5 of them, the other heroes of Heavenly Ocean Empire are enough. There are even some guys that I don't think you can win with your current strength. Oh, there are experts. Ling Xiao asked with a smile. Of course. Don't forget that the small divine Phoenix Empire had 10 Phoenix sons. How could the grand Heavenly Ocean Empire not have such a ranking? Ji Luoyu rolled her eyes at Ling Xiao and said, Actually, Heavenly Ocean Empire also has the 7 little saints of Heavenly Ocean. This is a ranking other than the 4 heroes of Heavenly Ocean. Water God is ranked first, and the 4 ferocious beasts of Heavenly Ocean Academy are ranked 2nd to 5th. The 6th is also a troublesome fellow called Ghost Hand Oeljo. It's rumored that one of his arms is a little strange. Even though the 7th is the weakest of the 7 little saints, he's not to be underestimated. He comes from the Heavenly Demon Cult, but I don't know much about him. All I know is that others call him Little Thing. It's all thanks to you as a guide this time. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known so much about the young martial artists of Heavenly Ocean Empire. Ling Xiao was truly grateful. Big Brother Ling, my life was saved by you. There's no point in saying these things. Ji Luoyu shook her head. I only hope that you can always think of me as a friend. More than a friend. In my heart, you're already family. Ling Xiao smiled. But to be honest, it's only after coming here that I truly understand that the white tiger meat is much more complicated than we imagined. In the eyes of others, the martial artists of our heavenly empire are probably cannon fodder and test subjects. They're used to test the strength of the martial artists of other empires. Big Brother Ling, you're calmer than anyone else. Ji Luoyu sighed. You're absolutely right. I've always wanted to remind you, but I felt that it would be too cruel, so I never said it. If there's one person in the Heavenly Empire who can stand out, it can only be you, Big Brother Ling. We'll pave the way for you. Chapter 1688. Thank you for your kindness. Ling Xiao was not an unreasonable person who would bite off more than he could chew. At least now, among the people from the Celestial Empire, only he and Dan Feng could enter the finals. The rest would probably be eliminated very soon. This was a cruel reality that he could not avoid. Perhaps these people would become stronger in the future. After all, they were still young. But at least now it was not enough. But there is one thing that I will do even if I have to risk my life. I brought you all here, so I must send you all back in one piece. In Ling Xiao's heart, Ji Luoyu was actually already considered a martial artist of the Celestial Sea Empire. Although Ji Luoyu was born in the White Tiger Continent, the Celestial Sea Empire, this did not hinder his absolute trust in her. While talking, everyone had already arrived at the outstanding building. Ling Xiao gathered everyone together and gave the other portion of the Heavenly Spirit, Earthly Fiend Spicy Hot Pot to Dan Feng. M.O.U. Zhu Xiaocong Long Chen, Ji Luoyu, Cold Plum, and Feng Minglian. He got one for himself. After that, everyone started to cultivate in the same place. It was safer to stay together like this. If something went wrong during cultivation, they could deal with it in time. Because he was worried that someone might assassinate him, Ling Xiao set up a 10,000 gate formation at the cultivation place before cultivating. This formation could be used to escape and trap the enemy, but also to block the enemy. It was very suitable. After setting up the 10,000 gate formation, the rest of the people had already finished their portions of the heavenly spirit, earthly fiend, scarlet sun, spicy hot pot, and were cultivating there together with the pills that Ling Xiao concocted. I should start too. Ling Xiao took a deep breath, then took out the empty valley orchid wine and drank it. The moment the wine entered his stomach, he could clearly feel a clear spirit rising in his body. His entire person seemed to have been sublimated. All the troubles in the world were temporarily thrown to the back of his mind. There was only the word cultivation. Originally, what people cared about the most about the heavenly spirit, earthly fiend, scarlet sun, spicy hot pot was not the cultivation effect. It was its superb taste. The moment it entered his mouth, he felt the spiciness explode in his mouth. But it wasn't uncomfortable. This kind of heat filled his entire body, making him feel so carefree that he wanted to scream. His appetite was instantly aroused. Each of the 108 ingredients had its own unique taste. Coupled with the base of the malatang, the feeling was simply wonderful. If he wasn't in a hurry to improve his cultivation, Ling Xiao really wanted to taste the most delicious food he had ever eaten since he was born. But now he was like a boar who didn't know anything about food, swallowing the food in big mouthfuls. If the diners of the Miracle Tower saw this, they would probably curse him for recklessly wasting natural resources and not knowing how to cherish them. Ling Xiao immediately felt a burning sensation all over his body as the whole pot of delicious food entered his stomach. A stream of hot air rose from his dantian and entered his 8 extraordinary meridians. Ling Xiao hurriedly swung his hand, taking out a pile of mid-grade spirit stones and elixirs for cultivation, including the remaining demonic beast cores, and placed them in the most convenient place around his body. The heavenly spirit, earthly fiend, scarlet sun, spicy hot pot's effects were excellent. Naturally, it had to be combined with spirit stones, elixirs, and demonic beast cores to maximize its effects. The spirit stones, elixirs, and demonic beast cores were all directly swallowed by him. The cool air met with the hot air and then entangled with each other. His soul power, yin and yang energy, and royal heaven-earth energy all fused together and started to circulate crazily. Now, Ling Xiao really understood why Fan Rohai said that he could only eat this thing once a month. This kind of explosive release of energy was really too destructive to the body. When he ate the delicious food, he felt very comfortable. However, when he finished eating and started cultivating, his body started to feel extreme pain. Ling Xiao felt as if he had been thrown into a pool of lava to be burned. There was also a strange, burning sensation in his body. He squinted his eyes and looked at the others. Although they also felt pain and discomfort, their reactions were not as big as his. Thinking about it carefully, it made sense. The other 7 people shared a portion of the spicy hot pot, and he alone had a portion. Naturally, the effects were even more terrifying. No longer looking at the others, he closed his eyes and focused on his cultivation. Inside his body, his meridians started to expand and strengthen again. His bones also started to strengthen under the scorching heat. The blood in his body was boiling, as if it was going to rush out of his body. Really, that kind of pain made Ling Xiao want to die, but he gritted his teeth and endured. Although his face was pale and his forehead was covered in cold sweat, he still gritted his teeth and endured. There was nothing that he could not endure. Ling Xiao's terrifying soul power played a crucial role at this moment. His tenacious spirit allowed him to maintain absolute clarity and perseverance in an environment of extreme pain. He could see all the changes in his body clearly, including the growth of his tyrannical martial spirit. Activating the light and shadow profound, the entire room suddenly became bright and dark. The energy of the spirit stones, elixirs, and crystal cores that he had eaten was driven by the light-shadow profound meaning. It constantly attacked the high-temperature energy released by the heavenly spirits, earthly fiends, Scarlet Yang, Malahat. After the two types of energy were neutralized, they fused into one, turning into a gentler but more powerful energy. Then it was absorbed by Ling Xiao's body. Open. Fourth level, Hell of Mirrors of Retribution. To cultivate in the yin-yang realm, he had to open the 18 levels of hell. If he could not open them, he would not be able to break through. A strange palace floated above Ling Xiao's head. Above the palace's door, there were the words Hell of Mirrors of Retribution. His soul came out of his body and pushed open the door of the Hell of Mirrors of Retribution. He could see many terrifying mirrors hanging inside. In these mirrors, he could see the deepest sins and the things he feared the most. If a normal martial artist's soul power was not strong enough, they would have already failed their cultivation and breakthrough. Because of the things in the mirrors, many yin-yang realm martial artists had gone crazy. Through the mirror of retribution, Ling Xiao saw the martial artists he had killed coming to take revenge on him. Each of them looked ferocious and terrifying. They cried and howled, wanting Ling Xiao to kneel and admit his crimes. However, Ling Xiao's expression remained cold and indifferent. He had never regretted killing someone. You pieces of trash. I was not afraid of you when you were alive. Now that you are dead, you want me to be afraid? A bunch of idiots. Terrifying soul power was released, and the mirror of retribution shattered. The scenes inside also disappeared. However, in the next moment, an even stronger threat appeared. An even larger mirror of retribution floated in the air. Inside, it was the scene of Ling Xiao's parents being tortured. Kneel and admit your crimes, and we will let your parents go. The savage face of the murderer roared. Admit my crimes? What crimes have I, Ling Xiao, committed? Since you dared to hurt my parents, I will make you pay back 100 times, 10,000 times. Ling Xiao coldly snorted and released his powerful soul power. Chapter 1689. Plead guilty? What crime did I, Ling Xiao, commit? In that instant, he released his soul power and directly entered the karma mirror. That hideous face immediately shattered. The shadows of Ling Xiao's parents also instantly disappeared. In the next instant, the Moon Lady's figure actually appeared inside. Again, how boring. Do you really think I, Ling Xiao, will be afraid of this kind of trick? Ling Xiao did not wait for the karma mirror to ask and directly released his most terrifying soul power. A soul storm blew in the hell of karma mirror, and countless karma mirrors shattered. Then his primordial spirit successfully stepped out of the hell of karma mirror and returned to his body. At this time, several hours had already passed, and the sky was already dark. Dan Feng, who was the first to finish cultivating, sat at the door to guard everyone. Dan Feng's original cultivation had actually already reached the 9th level of the yin-yang realm. This cultivation was the same as Feng Mingqi Shan's. However, these two people could not unleash their true cultivation when they were on the divine Phoenix continent. Therefore, Feng Mingqi Shan dying in Ling Xiao's hands was really very unjust. If it was on the White Tiger continent, Ling Xiao would definitely have been killed by Feng Mingqi Shan. At this time, Dan Feng's cultivation broke through another realm and reached the 10th level of the yin-yang realm. Of course, this was all thanks to Ling Xiao's medicinal pills and the heaven spirit, earthly fiend Scarlet Yang Malahat. Dan Feng's cultivation had been stuck at the peak of the 9th level of the yin-yang realm for several years. Even though he had traveled the White Tiger continent for a long time, he had been unable to break through. After all, he could not enter the 15th floor of the Wonder Tower. Therefore, he could not obtain the heaven spirit, earthly fiend, Scarlet Yang Malahat. Today, his cultivation broke through, and he was simply overjoyed. Originally, although he admired Ling Xiao's talent, he did not treat Ling Xiao as his superior. After all, Ling Xiao's cultivation was inferior to his. He was somewhat displeased to address such a person as the Celestial Emperor. However, Ling Xiao helped him open the Chang'e's secret realm, allowing his cultivation to rise from the early 9th level of the Yin-Yang realm to the peak 9th level of the Yin-Yang realm. He even obtained some unexpected benefits. Today, he gave him the heavenly spirit, earthly fiend Scarlet Yang Malahotpot, which allowed him to break through to the 10th level of the Yin-Yang realm. His attitude towards Ling Xiao had already undergone a great change. If they had only treated each other as friends before, then now they were really willing to sacrifice themselves for each other. One had to know that their previous friends could only be considered ordinary friends because he had never told Ling Xiao his true cultivation level. When he finishes his cultivation, I'll tell him about this. Dan Feng thought for a moment and then closed his eyes. After he finished cultivating, he still needed to consolidate his cultivation. Anyway, with the pills that Ling Xiao had concocted for him, this was not a problem. Time continued to pass. Long Chen, Mou, Zhu Shaotsong, Ji Luoyu, Cold Plum, and Feng Minglian ended their cultivation one after another. Basically, everyone had a breakthrough in their cultivation. At the very least, he had broken through a realm. Feng Minglian even broke through 2 realms and reached the 5th level of the Yin-Yang realm. Long Chen was even weirder. He had broken through 3 realms from the 2nd level of the Yin-Yang realm to the 5th level of the Yin-Yang realm. When he broke through, a dragon's roar reverberated throughout the Tower of Elites and attracted many martial artists. However, with the 10,000 gate formation blocking them, those martial artists could not enter. This guy is really from the Dragon Clan. His cultivation speed is not slower than Ling Xiao's at all? That's terrifying. Dan Feng was dumbfounded. The Dragon Clan was known as the strongest clan in the Archean era. They were the best in terms of combat power and cultivation speed. This was not just for show. However, Ling Xiao is even more terrifying. Long Chen is so terrifying, but he can't compare to him. TSK, this guy's talent is even more ferocious than the Dragon Clan. I really don't know what kind of blood flows in his body. Dan Feng shook his head and smiled bitterly. At this moment, Dan Feng was at the 10th level of the Yin-Yang realm. Long Chen was at the 5th level of the Yin-Yang realm. Feng Minglian was at the 5th level of the Yin-Yang realm. Ji Luoyu was at the 4th level of the Yin-Yang realm. Cold Plum was at the 4th level of the Yin-Yang realm. Mou was at the 3rd level of the Yin-Yang realm. Zhu Shaotsong was at the 3rd level of the Yin-Yang realm. Everyone had improved a lot compared to when they first arrived. Next, it was up to Ling Xiao. After drinking the Tiangang, earthly fiend, Scarlet Sun Mala soup, his cultivation would definitely break through. There was no doubt about that. However, Ling Xiao's inner strength was too strong, and his physical body was terrifying too. Every time he broke through, his improvement would be several times that of other martial artists. It would not be easy to break through, but once he did, he would become even more ferocious. Whoosh! At this moment, everyone suddenly realized that a pitch-black space had appeared behind Ling Xiao. In the next moment, 2 types of constellations, the sun and the moon, appeared at the same time in this space. The glaring light connected heaven and earth. The scarlet sun in the sky seemed to be sucked in, and its power kept pouring into the room. Then it merged into Ling Xiao's body. In an instant, the temperature in the room rose abruptly. Even the martial artists outside the room could feel the heat. They were puzzled. Who exactly was cultivating in this room? How could it cause such a shocking scene? What cultivation technique is His Majesty cultivating? It's so terrifying. Dan Feng looked at Cold Plum and asked. In this place, only Lung Mei was the most familiar with Ling Xiao. She was also the person who had followed Ling Xiao the longest. I don't know. Cold Plum shook her head. She really did not know. She was not lying. Who cares what he's cultivating? In my opinion, this cultivation technique's grade is probably very high. It should be at least an immortal grade martial art, Mou said with a smile. Mou smiled and said, Senior brother, the stronger the Sky Emperor is, the more benefits we'll get. Have you forgotten? When we came here, the Dragon Phoenix continent's law had changed. The law that originally limited cultivation to the 5th level of the Yin-Yang realm has changed to the 10th level of the Yin-Yang realm. I believe it has something to do with His Majesty's cultivation. That's true. His Majesty is the ruler of the Dragon Phoenix continent. Even when the 7 rulers set the law, they would consider it based on his cultivation. Dan Feng looked at Ling Xiao. At first, he thought that he already knew this person very well. He was still far from it. He had never seen Ling Xiao's cultivation technique before. At that moment, Ling Xiao did not know what was happening in the outside world. The ice and fire in his body kept colliding and merging. Then, his cultivation kept accumulating and brewing. After activating the Hell of Retribution, the barrier to the 5th level of the Yin-Yang realm was completely broken. Next, as long as he brewed energy, his cultivation would naturally break through. The most difficult thing in the Yin-Yang realm was to activate the 18 levels of Hell. As long as he could do that, his cultivation would naturally increase. Of course, the prerequisite was that he had to have enough energy to maintain it. Spiritual stones, elixir pills, and demonic beast crystal cores were the key for Ling Xiao to maintain this state. While he was cultivating, his mystic world body was automatically refined. The power of the royal heaven-earth kept merging into his body. Chapter 1690. Ling Xiao's cultivation was increasing. His cells were also awakening one by one. His cultivation and cells were awakening at almost the same time. The spiritual qi of heaven and earth also merged into his body in large amounts. The green and golden lights continued to collide and fuse together. Buzz! Suddenly, a blinding light shot out of the house and pierced through the clouds in the sky. Ling Xiao's divine light retracted. He slowly opened his eyes. Every time his cultivation broke through a new level, he would have a new understanding of his own power. He didn't actually have any inner strength cultivation technique. Instead, he cultivated with esoteric force. The quality of esoteric force was obviously a few levels higher than ordinary inner strength. This was also the secret of why he could challenge those of a higher level. Generally speaking, inner strength was divided into 3 levels. First, ordinary inner strength. This was also the inner strength that most martial artists possessed. Whether it was the vital essence of the past or the yin-yang essence of the present, they were all different forms of inner strength. In terms of grade, it was still ordinary inner strength. Second, special inner strength. This was inner strength that was infused with the changes of the 5 elements. Martial artists with special martial souls or special martial arts could have it. It was stronger than ordinary inner strength. Third, original inner strength. This was the core of inner strength. It was the essence and was very powerful. Ordinary martial artists wouldn't use original inner strength to fight. However, they would definitely use it when they were risking their lives. Fourth, esoteric inner strength. This was the strongest inner strength that Ling Xiao knew. It was even more terrifying than original inner strength. This was also why Ling Xiao's inner strength always had the upper hand when he collided with other martial artists. Ling Xiao had to thank the Human King for this. If it wasn't for the Human King's guidance, his inner strength would only reach the special inner strength stage. Congratulations, Your Majesty, for breaking through to Yin-Yang Realm Level 5. Dan Feng smiled as he looked at Ling Xiao, who had opened his eyes and said, "You don't have to be so polite. We're all friends here." Ling Xiao smiled and said, this breakthrough allowed him to directly reach the late stage of Yin-Yang Realm Level 5. Moreover, his cultivation was completely stabilized. This was enough to show how powerful the heavenly spirit, earthly fiend, Scarlet Yang Mala Soup was. After Ji Luoyu found the ingredients, she would definitely make some personally. This thing could definitely greatly increase the cultivation of all martial artists in the Heavenly Dynasty Empire. You all broke through as well. He opened the high heaven Tai Chi eye and saw the cultivation levels of the others. After coming to the White Tiger continent, Ling Xiao didn't expose Dan Feng's true cultivation. However, since Dan Feng didn't say it, he didn't expose it. His Tai Chi eye was able to see through anyone unless the difference in cultivation was ridiculously large, at least 5 levels. Otherwise, no one would be able to escape his eyes. Ling Xiao opened his eyes, but before he could say anything, a voice suddenly came from outside the door. The voice was very pleasant, like the sound of an icy spring dripping into a valley. Judging from the voice, it should be a gentle girl. But there was a hint of weakness in her pleasant voice. She was clearly ill. She probably came here to look for Ji Luoyu. She probably wanted Ji Luoyu to treat her illness. Ling Xiao thought of many things in an instant. He casually removed the 10,000 gate formation and walked out with Ji Luoyu and the others. Although the voice was pleasant and gentle, it couldn't guarantee that the other party didn't have any hostility. After all, the hero's pavilion was in danger now. According to Dan Feng, a dozen or so martial artists had mysteriously disappeared while he was cultivating in the Tower of Heroes. Some of them were found dead, while others couldn't even find their bodies. After stepping out of the room, Ling Xiao noticed that there were many gazes looking at him. Some were curious, some were cold, and some were filled with killing intent. The owners of these gazes should be the martial artists who came to Heavenly Sea City to participate in the White Tiger meet. Among them, there were many martial artists with extraordinary strength. Even he wasn't confident of winning. "I'm Ji Luoyu. Why are you looking for me?" At this moment, Ji Luoyu's voice rang out, drawing Ling Xiao's gaze to the man and woman standing at the very front. The man was handsome, and his cultivation was not weak. He was at the 6th level of the Yin-Yang realm. The woman's cultivation was weaker. She was only at the 1st level of the Yin-Yang realm. If he guessed correctly, the man should be one of the candidates. The woman wasn't. Ling Xiao never cared about a girl's appearance. After all, he only cared about the Moon Lady. Although the girl was pretty, she was still very different from the Moon Lady. She was even worse than Cold Plum. How could he possibly care about that? "You're Ji Luoyu?" The girl had yet to speak, but the man's voice was filled with disdain. His words sounded like he looked down on Ji Luoyu. "I'm Ji Luoyu. What's wrong? Is there a second Ji Luoyu in Sky Sea City?" Ji Luoyu frowned when she heard that. She was very unhappy. "Miss, don't be angry. My cousin is such a person. He's more talented, so he's more arrogant. I'm deeply sorry that I spoke rudely to you after being selected as one of the candidates for the White Tiger meet." The man wanted to say more, but the girl stopped him. They were here to ask for help. The man's words were not words for begging. "Cousin, I think you're just wasting your time. Ji Luoyu's cultivation is only at the 4th level of the Yin-Yang realm. So what if she's Medicine King's son, Sa's disciple? Why don't you ask my cousin to go to the Medicine King Valley and get Mr. Medicine King to heal you personally?" The man continued to speak unyieldingly, his attitude extremely arrogant. Ling Xiao found it ridiculous. A mere 6th level of the Yin-Yang realm martial artist going to find Medicine King's son Sa? Would he even bother? When Feng Ming Wuliang invited Medicine King Sun Sa, he spent almost the entire nation's resources and gave Sun Sa many benefits. Could this young man do it? Ha! Ji Luoyu laughed mockingly. "Then you can go to the Medicine King Valley to find old man Sun Sa. However, I'm afraid you won't be able to return. If you meet Sun Lingchan, that demoness, you'll definitely become a subject under her skirt." "How dare you? I, Sun Wuji, am a 6th level of the Yin-Yang realm martial artist. I'm a prodigy selected by the Sky Sea Empire to participate in the White Tiger meet. Who do you think you are? How dare you be so disrespectful to me?" The young man drew his sword and pointed it at Ji Luoyu as he spoke angrily. "Cousin, if you continue to be like this, please leave." The girl was clearly angry. He was here to ask for help. Regardless of whether it was useful in the end, He had to have an attitude and no etiquette. Humph, I'll let you off this time because of my cousin. Sun Wuji snorted coldly and sheathed his sword. However, he didn't know that he saved his life because of this. Chapter 1691. Sun Wuji didn't know that by sheathing his sword, he had actually saved his life. Otherwise, Ling Xiao would have dared to kill him as long as he drew his sword. Candidates were allowed to kill each other. If Sun Wuji didn't know what was good for him and dared to attack, he naturally wouldn't be polite. Seeing that Sun Wuji was silent, the woman said, "My name is Lu Lian, and I am from the Lu clan of Sky Sea City. I am not a famous clan, but I can be considered a rich one. Originally, I could have participated in the White Tiger Storm meet. However, my heart is higher than the sky, but my life is more fragile than paper. I fell seriously ill and my cultivation regressed. A terrifying demonic aura accumulated in my body and couldn't dissipate. This demonic aura tortured me so badly that I couldn't cultivate. Moreover, it often made me lose my mind. Therefore, when my illness acted up, I could only lock myself in the room and endure the torture. It's useless for you to say this. He has to apologize to me. Otherwise, I won't help you no matter what you say." Ji Luoyu also had a temper. After being insulted by others for so long, how could she help others in a good mood? "I'm afraid you don't have that ability," Sun Wuji said disdainfully. "What does that have to do with you? Hurry up and leave with your cousin. This is the outstanding building, not a place for you to behave atrociously," Ji Luoyu said coldly. Plop! Lu Lian suddenly knelt down, looked at Ji Luoyu and said, "Miss Lu, my cousin was just worried about me. That's why he said the wrong thing. No matter what, it's all my fault. Today, Lu Lian kneels down before you. I only beg that you can use the divine physician's sacred hands to relieve Lu Lian of her pain." This girl was really amazing. How much courage did it take to kneel down in front of Ji Luoyu in front of so many people? After all, she was a girl, and girls were usually very thin-skinned. "Hurry up and get up. Otherwise, others will say that I, Ji Luoyu, am bullying you." Ji Luoyu was still a girl and was more soft-hearted. She hurriedly went forward to help the girl up. However, at the moment when the two of them collided, Ji Luoyu's expression changed. She hurriedly retreated. Between her hands, black gas curled up. Seeing this, Ling Xiao suddenly grabbed Ji Luoyu's hand and sucked the black gas into his body. It really is the demonic qi of the heavenly demons, and it's so pure. Ling Xiao thought to himself. This scene was also seen by Lu Lian. In the past, there were many pharmacists who were so frightened that they didn't dare to treat her the moment they touched her. Today, Ji Luoyu's situation was similar, but the young man beside Ji Luoyu was not afraid of the devil qi at all, which was really surprising. "This is my big brother Ling. If you want to save people, it's more useful for you to beg him. His ability is more powerful than that old man Sun's eye," Ji Luoyu said with a smile. At the moment when Ling Xiao grabbed her hand, she really felt as if she was about to ascend to heaven. Her entire body seemed to be filled with delicious honey. It was indescribably sweet. "So, it's young hero Ling." Lu Lian looked at Ling Xiao. Her originally gloomy eyes were now filled with anticipation. "I can help you, but there are 2 conditions." Ling Xiao stared at Lu Lian and said with a smile, "First, get that trash to apologize to my sister Luoyu. Be more sincere. Second, I want that Taiji stone on you." Hearing this, the girl suddenly used her hands to cover her body. She looked at Ling Xiao in horror. "How do you know that I have the Taiji stone on me?" "Don't be so nervous. I'm most familiar with the aura released by the Taiji stone because it's very helpful to my cultivation," Ling Xiao said indifferently. Hearing this, Lu Lian heaved a sigh of relief. She put down her hand somewhat awkwardly and said, "I'm sorry, young hero Ling. This Taiji stone is my Lu family's heirloom. Furthermore, it's very important to me. I can't give it to you." Ling Xiao said with a smile. The so-called help is actually helping you suppress the heavenly demon's fiendish aura, right? You originally had a relapse almost every day. With this thing, you only have a relapse once a month. Am I right? You're indeed amazing. Lu Lian became even more agitated. Let's make a deal. If I cure your illness, this Taiji stone will belong to me. How about it? Ling Xiao had indeed taken a fancy to that Taiji stone. That Taiji stone contained the two powers of yin and yang. They complemented each other and were rather mysterious. It would definitely be of great benefit to his cultivation. Now that he was about to participate in the white tiger meet, it was very urgent for him to raise his cultivation. Obtaining this Taiji stone was absolutely necessary to him. He was not the kind of person who would snatch things. That was why he proposed a deal. Cousin, don't listen to him. I've already investigated this brat. His cultivation is only at the 4th level of the yin-yang realm. Do you really think he can help you with this cultivation? Sun Wuji said loudly, listen to cousin. Let's go. There's no need to talk nonsense with these two liars. They clearly only want the Taiji stone. Cousin, if you're unwilling to apologize, then leave. I won't force you. However, I believe in young hero Ling. I can make this deal with him. Lu Lian actually did not completely trust Ling Xiao in the depths of her heart. After all, it was their first meeting. How could she completely trust him? If she completely trusted him, then she would be a fool. The reason why she did this was because she had no other choice. She was very clear in her heart that she could not afford to hire Medicine King's son, Sa, and Sun Lingchan. Her Lu family was only a small and wealthy family. He could destroy them all with a finger. How could she miss out on her only hope? Looking at Lu Lian, Ling Xiao could not help but secretly praise her. This girl was really amazing. Not only did she behave appropriately, but she also knew the importance of things. She also knew the pros and cons. She was not like many people who looked smart, but when doing many things, they often grasped the sesame seed and threw away the watermelon. In fact, even if Sun Wuji did not apologize and Lu Lian was not willing to make the deal, he would still help. This was because the pure demonic qi in Lu Lian's body was a great supplement for him. Apologize? That's impossible. Cousin, you've been bewitched by a scoundrel. You can't tell who's right and who's wrong. Fine, I'll kill these two liars today to wake you up. Sun Wuji suddenly drew his sword and a cold aura shot towards Ling Xiao. He was actually going to attack. Ling Xiao sneered. Since he was going to attack, then he did not need to talk nonsense. He also liked to solve problems with violence because it was simple and fast. However, at this moment, Lu Lian suddenly stood in the middle. She looked at Sun Wuji and said, Cousin, are you crazy? They're my only hope. Sun Wuji seemed to really care about Lu Lian. He withdrew his sword that was about to stab out. He did not know that this was the second time Lu Lian had saved his life. Sigh, cousin is so educated and polite, but cousin is like an idiot. Ling Xiao sighed and looked at Ji Luoyu and said, Lu, do you want me to help you kill that kid? He doesn't look like he'll apologize. If he said he would kill, then he would really kill. Chapter 1692. Forget it. I won't lower myself to his level. On the other hand, Miss Lu Lian is quite sincere. Big brother Ling, do as you see fit. If you want to help her, then help her. I have no objections. After all, Ji Luoyu was not Ling Xiao. She was not as decisive as Ling Xiao. If it was Ling Xiao, Sun Wuji would have died long ago for being so rude. Okay, I'll listen to you. Ling Xiao no longer looked at Sun Wuji. Instead, he looked at Lu Lian and said, My sister Luoyu is magnanimous and will not bicker with your cousin. However, I will definitely add the Taiji stone into the deal. Is that okay? No problem. Lu Lian sighed in relief. She looked at Ji Luoyu and said, Thank you, Miss Luoyu. No need. I just feel sorry for you and don't want to bicker with that idiot. Ji Luoyu knew very well that with Ling Xiao's strength, killing Sun Wuji would be as easy as flipping his hand. However, he still knew about the Sun clan of Sky Sea City. They were much more powerful than the Lu clan. Moreover, they were a little bit related to Sun Sa, although they were distant relatives. However, if Ling Xiao really killed Sun Wuji, he would definitely get into trouble. According to Ji Luoyu's personality, she was naturally unwilling to do so. Sun Wuji was so angry that his face turned pale. However, he was unwilling to leave. He stood there trembling, and his eyes revealed a dense killing intent. I advise you not to try to take revenge. Otherwise, the unlucky ones won't be us. Ling Xiao glanced at Sun Wuji. He felt that killing this kind of trash was beneath him. Then he looked at Lu Lian and said, "Let's go. Take me to your clan." Of course, he had to go to the Lu clan for treatment. Otherwise, if the Lu clan's elders refused to admit it, it would be troublesome. "Young hero Ling, please," Lu Lian said happily. Before Ling Xiao left, he stared at Danfeng and said, "You are the strongest cultivator in our heavenly dynasty empire. Protect them well and try not to go out. Even if you go out, don't be alone." "Don't worry, I will," Danfeng nodded and said. Then, Ling Xiao followed Lu Lian and left the Tower of Heroes. In the crowd, a few pairs of eyes stared at him. The moment he left the Tower of Heroes, they also left quietly. "Cousin, why are you bringing this kind of person to the Lu family? If I didn't know better, I would have thought that he was a wild man you brought back from outside." Sun Wuji finally couldn't hold it in any longer and asked when they arrived outside the outstanding building. "Cousin, I don't want to say too much. If you're still like this, then please leave. I don't need your protection anymore." In fact, Lu Lian didn't want Sun Wuji to leave. After all, although Sun Wuji's personality was a little bad, he still cared about her a lot. His cousin had always been obedient to him since they were young. Who would have thought that she would actually chase him away after meeting a wild man? The jealousy in his heart burned uncontrollably. Of course, Ling Xiao could feel his killing intent, but he didn't care at all. He just smiled secretly. He planned to teach this guy a lesson on the way. It was about 1 kilometer from the Tower of Heroes to the Lu family. The three of them were martial artists, so they didn't ride their mounts. They walked. However, it didn't take long. About 1 kilometer away from the Tower of Heroes, they arrived at a deserted street. There were dilapidated houses, beggars, and 3 people in tattered clothes everywhere. A dangerous aura came from the dark. Ling Xiao sneered secretly. 4 martial artists at the 5th level of the Yin-Yang realm want to assassinate me? They must be tired of living. He suddenly approached Lu Lian, grabbed her soft waist, and leaped into the air. Just as he leaped into the air, he heard a sonic boom behind him. Lu Lian wanted to scream, but she shut her mouth when she heard the sonic boom. Ling Xiao dodged with Lu Lian. Sun Wuji became the target of the sonic boom. He was so angry that he gritted his teeth. However, he was a 6th level of the Yin-Yang realm martial artist. Faced with this predicament, he unsheathed his long sword. It glowed, and the sonic boom sent him flying and crashing into the wall. There were 4 strange hidden weapons. "Sun Wuji, take your cousin and leave. Don't meddle in other people's business. Otherwise, we'll kill you too." The owners of the 4 hidden weapons were 5th level of the Yin-Yang realm martial artists. They were also candidates for the white tiger meat. Sun Wuji turned to look at Lu Lian. He really wanted to leave. The 4 martial artists saw that Sun Wuji didn't attack, so they attacked Ling Xiao again. However, Ling Xiao instantly appeared near Sun Wuji with his ghostly movement technique. As a result, Sun Wuji became a target again. "Damn it. Sun Wuji, are you crazy?" "Damn it. You're the crazy ones. I'm not attacking, but you keep targeting me. Do you think I'm stupid?" Sun Wuji was enraged by Ling Xiao. He vented all his anger on the 4 5th level of the Yin-Yang realm martial artists. A sword light flashed. He killed one of them with just one move. A sixth level of the Yin-Yang realm martial artist was much stronger than a fifth level of the Yin-Yang realm martial artist. However, there were more of them. While one of them was killed, the other three had already closed in. Sun Wuji blocked hastily, but his arm was still cut. His protective origin energy broke. Fortunately, he wasn't injured. However, it was still very dangerous. Furthermore, the other party did not stop attacking. After dodging the first stab, another knife stabbed down at almost the same position. This time, Sun Wuji's arm was dyed red. However, he didn't have time to adjust before the third attack came. The three worked well together. It was obvious that they were from the same sect. Just as Sun Wuji's arm was about to be crippled, Lu Lian flicked her finger at the crucial moment. Lu Lian deflected the third attack by about an inch, allowing Sun Wuji to dodge. Then, Lu Lian took the opportunity to kill the second person with another attack. What a pity! Ling Xiao originally wanted to see Sun Wuji lose an arm. He did not have a good impression of this fellow. Even if this fellow died, Ling Xiao would not pity him at all. For people tried to assassinate Ling Xiao, but Sun Wuji killed two of them. When the other two saw that the situation was bad, they turned and fled. However, they had only taken 10 steps when two pitch-black shadows suddenly appeared under their feet. They were as sharp as sword qi and directly pierced through them. The shadows instantly vanished. Ling Xiao sneered inwardly. The entire process was undetectable. Even Lu Lian, who was in Xiao Chen's arms, only felt a weak flow of energy. It's fine now. Ling Xiao placed Lu Lian on the ground and said, "Let's continue on our way." Sun Wuji looked at Ling Xiao, feeling very angry. However, just as Sun Wuji was about to roar in anger, he suddenly felt dizzy. His expression immediately changed to one of horror. Poison! Poison! The assassin was really sinister. He actually smeared poison on the short saber. Chapter 1693. Although the poison on the dagger was nothing special, if it was not treated in time, even a Yin-Yang realm martial artist would be in trouble, especially when the white tiger meet was about to begin. Even if they were not poisoned to death, they would have to withdraw from the white tiger meet if something happened. The goal of those 4 people seemed to be very clear. They wanted to eliminate Ling Xiao as much as possible. "Kneel down and beg me, and I'll cure you." Ling Xiao glanced at Sun Wuji with a smile and said, "I'd rather die than beg a liar like you." Sun Wuji roared, "Liar, liar. Very well, then you can wait for your death here. This place is 1 mile away from the Lu family. When you get back, even a golden immortal won't be able to save you." Ling Xiao was really annoyed by this idiot Sun Wuji. This person had a strong character. Even now, he still refused to beg Ling Xiao. However, Ling Xiao was not interested in admiring him. He could only say that this guy was an idiot with a strong character. "Cousin, just beg young Hero Ling, otherwise you'll really die," Lu Lian hurriedly advised. Ah! Sun Wuji could feel the poison entering his bones. He refused to kneel down and beg Ling Xiao, not because he had a strong character, but because he felt that he could save himself. It was just a poison. How could it do anything to him? A 6th-level Yin-Yang realm martial artist. However, at this moment, his expression really changed. Not only was the poison not expelled, but it had also entered his bones. If he was not saved, he would really die. He suddenly knelt on the ground and grabbed Ling Xiao's leg. He cried, "Hero Ling, please save me. If you save me, I'm willing to be your slave." "Haha, so you're also a coward. I really misjudged you." Ling Xiao sneered in disdain. He took out an antidote pill and injected a gust of sinister demonic qi into it. Then he fed it to Sun Wuji. After a while, Sun Wuji's expression improved. He stood up, looked at Ling Xiao, and said coldly, "You'd better not tell anyone about what happened today. Otherwise, I'll make sure you die a horrible death." "Threatening me?" Ling Xiao smiled inwardly but didn't say anything. He had long known that Sun Wuji was not a good person, so he had integrated his own heavenly demonic chi into the detoxification pill. I won't kill him for the time being. I'll keep him alive for now. Maybe he'll be useful. A cannon fodder at the 6th level of the Yin-Yang realm would definitely be useful at a crucial moment. Cousin, you've really disappointed me. Young hero Ling, let's go. Of course. The other reason Ling Xiao had saved Sun Wuji was to let Lu Lian see Sun Wuji's true colors. Let's see what it is. Sun Wuji followed behind with a gloomy face. No one knew what he was thinking. However, no matter what he did, everything was under Ling Xiao's surveillance. In the end, he could not escape from Ling Xiao's grasp. Soon, the three of them arrived at the entrance of the Lu family. The Lu family was said to be a big family in Sky Sea City, but it was not even considered a big family. However, it was much bigger than many big families in the Divine Phoenix Empire. The White Tiger Continent is indeed the White Tiger Continent. Not only are the cultivators' cultivations much higher, but even the family's influence is also much stronger. A small family like this can definitely be considered one of the 8 big families in the Divine Phoenix Empire. Ling Xiao lamented for a while, and the heroic spirit in his heart flourished. Since when was it that the more difficult something was, the more worth it was to try? Sooner or later, the entire White Tiger Continent would belong to him, Ling Xiao. Seeing Lu Lian, the guards outside the door immediately came to welcome her. Young Miss is back. Lu Lian nodded, then led Ling Xiao into the house. The 2 guards glanced at Ling Xiao and seemed a little confused. However, since Lu Lian had brought him back, they couldn't stop him and allowed him to enter. 2 good-for-nothings. If that person was the one who kidnapped my cousin, wouldn't you care? Sun Wuji now had nowhere to vent his anger, so he began to flip out when he met someone. The 2 guards were not in the wrong, because Lu Lian didn't look like she was kidnapped at all. In the end, they were still scolded badly by him. After Sun Wuji entered, one of the guards said, I don't know what he's so smug about. He can't get young Miss Lu Lian, so he's always venting his anger on us servants. Lower your voice. Sun Wuji is a member of the Sun family. The Sun family is bigger than our Lu family, and even the old master can't afford to offend them. The other guard said, Oh right, who is that young man just now? Young Miss seems to be very respectful to him. Could he be some otherworldly expert? One of the guards said, Otherworldly expert? Impossible, his aura isn't as strong as Sun Wuji's. He's probably a friend. The other guard said, Could he be an apothecary or something? An apothecary's cultivation is a little lower than ordinary warriors. The first guard said again, That's possible. Our young miss has been poisoned by some bastard, and she's in so much pain that her cultivation is constantly regressing. With her talent, it's possible for her to cultivate to the 10th level of the Yin-Yang realm. That Sun Wuji is nothing. Do you think that Sun Wuji was the one who poisoned her? Don't talk nonsense, but I think it's possible. While the 2 guards were chatting, Ling Xiao had already followed Lu Lian to the Lu family's main hall. Lu Lian's parents, as well as the 3 elders, appeared there. According to Lu Lian's introduction, the 3 elders were the 3 elders of the Lu family. Their cultivation was at the 7th level of the Yin-Yang realm, and they were very terrifying. This kind of cultivation was indeed terrifying in the Divine Phoenix Continent. However, Ling Xiao found it a little funny when he heard it now. He had already broken through to the 5th level of the Yin-Yang realm, and these 3 people were nothing to him. Lu Lian roughly explained the situation to her parents and the 3 elders. Lu Lian's father looked at Ling Xiao worriedly. Then he looked at his daughter and said, It's not that I don't trust this young man, but the demonic chi in your body has been there for 3 years, and no one has been able to break it. Are you sure this young hero Ling can do it? Parents were all concerned about their daughters, As a father, he naturally didn't want his daughter to be deceived by a swindler, so it was normal for him to ask, "Uncle, I've already told my cousin. This person is just a swindler. What can he know?" Before Lu Lian could reply, Sun Wuji interrupted. "Cousin, how can you do this? Young Hero Ling just saved your life." Lu Lian felt that her cousin was simply unreasonable. "Wuji, tell us what happened," the leading Grand Elder asked. Sun Wuji briefly explained the process, but many things had changed. It became that he risked his life to protect Lu Lian, heroically got injured, and then got poisoned. "Grand Elder, Uncle, I have a feeling that those 4 assassins were sent by this young Hero Ling otherwise. How could he have cured the poison in my body in an instant?" Sun Wuji explained in the end. Chapter 1694. That makes sense. Capture this Ling guy first and interrogate him slowly. We'll talk about the treatment later. The Great Elder pondered for a moment before slamming the table. "Hold on," Lu Lian's father shouted. "You're arresting him before the investigation is done? No matter what, young Master Ling saved Wuji. It's fine if we're not grateful, but how can we repay his kindness with enmity?" Ling Xiao nodded secretly when he heard that. Although there were always a few scum in every family, this father was still a good person. Father is right. Young Hero Ling is friends with Medicine King Sun Sa's disciple, Ji Luoyu. I believe he won't lie to me. Lu Lian looked at her father and said, "Elders, why don't we let young Hero Ling try? Ji Luoyu's friend shouldn't be too bad. Moreover, we don't have any other choice." Lu Lian's father thought for a moment before speaking. "As the head of the family, you're really magnanimous to let a stranger treat your daughter. Aren't you afraid that he's up to no good?" The Great Elder said coldly, "Now that the White Tiger meet is about to begin, all sorts of people will gather in Sky Sea City. Anything can happen. Moreover, what Wuji said just now is not without reason. If he's really a scheming person and takes the opportunity to sully Lian, our Lu family will have nowhere to put our face. He's just a 4th-level Yin-Yang realm martial artist. How can he be worthy of our Lu family's daughter?" After Ling Xiao made a breakthrough in his cultivation, he hit his true cultivation level. This way, he could avoid more people from targeting him. Otherwise, if his cultivation speed was too fast, there would be more people who wanted to kill him. He did not care about ordinary martial artists, but he really could not deal with those who were too strong. In this world, there were not many people who could see through his cultivation level. At the very least, there was no one in the White Tiger continent who could, unless he was willing to let them see. However, the Great Elder's words were really interesting. Because Ling Xiao's cultivation level was low, it was a crime to sully Lu Lian. If his cultivation level was high, wouldn't it mean that he was not guilty? Ling Xiao did not even look at the Great Elder. Instead, he looked at the head of the Lu family, Lu Lian's father, and said with a smile, "Lu family head, Lu Lian is your daughter. What do you want me to do? How dare you? How dare you look down on me? How rude!" Seeing how arrogant Ling Xiao was, First Elder was instantly enraged. "What a joke! If Lu Lian didn't beg me, I wouldn't come to your family. As the host, not only did you not serve me tea, you even tried to capture me. Who is the rude one here?" Ling Xiao sneered and questioned the First Elder. "Pa! Crack!" The Great Elder suddenly slammed the table, causing it to shatter into pieces. He furiously stood up and roared, "Insolent brat, Lian is young and has been deceived by you. Do you think we are all fools?" This idiot is dead meat. Looks like I don't have to waste my energy." Sun Wuji snickered. He thought that Ling Xiao was stupid. He was so arrogant in the Lu family. He was looking for death. He thought that he could easily kill Ling Xiao. Moreover, The great elder's cultivation level was one level higher than his. This brat was dead meat. First elder, please don't be angry. Young Hero Ling was just outspoken. He didn't mean to offend you. Besides, our Lu family's etiquette isn't up to standard. I hope you can forgive him. Lu Lian said hurriedly. She was frightened. Ling Xiao offended the great elder. It would be troublesome. She was afraid that the great elder would kill Ling Xiao on the spot, so she begged for mercy. Forgive him? If he kneels down and repents, I can consider cutting off his tongue. Otherwise, I'll kill him on the spot. The great elder sneered. Ha 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 ha. Ling Xiao suddenly burst into laughter, which shocked everyone, causing them to be extremely puzzled. What are you laughing at? The great elder asked. I'm laughing at your Lu family. You're a frog at the bottom of a well. You're so stupid that it makes one's hair stand on end. It's a pity that Miss Lu, the only person with talent and foresight, can't make the decision. Forget it. For Miss Lu's sake, I won't argue with you frogs at the bottom of a well. Anyway, I'm only here to do business. Lu Lian, if you want to be treated, I can take you away from here. Once it's done, you can give me the Tai Chi stone. As for these idiots, you can ignore them. I believe you're a person with foresight, right? Ling Xiao was too lazy to talk nonsense with the Lu family. He wasn't here to do business with the Lu family anyway. As soon as he said this, the whole hall was shocked. A 17 or 18-year-old young man actually didn't put the entire Lu family in his eyes. This was too arrogant. Even Lu Lian was shocked and did not come back to her senses for a long time. However, thinking about it carefully, was there anything wrong with Ling Xiao's words? He came here to treat Lu Lian's illness, not to look at the Lu family's face. And these people scolded him to his face, and even said that he was trying to sully Lu Lian. They even wanted to capture him and cut off his tongue? It was simply laughable. He, Ling Xiao, wasn't a servant of the Lu family. It was fine if they didn't treat him as an honored guest, but they actually humiliated him like this. If it were any other time, he wouldn't be so good-tempered. It was just that he had just come to Sky Sea City and didn't want to easily cause a massacre and attract too much attention. Otherwise, based on what the great elder said, that old thing deserved to die. Impudent. You're going too far. How dare you look down on our Lu family? The great elder's face was ashen as he exploded with a terrifying murderous aura. Of course, this murderous aura was indeed terrifying to the others in the Lu family. However, to Ling Xiao, it wasn't worth mentioning. It was even a little laughable. Lu Lian, I'm waiting for your words. If you're not willing, I'll leave. You invited me here, not me shamelessly following you. Ling Xiao ignored the great elder and looked at Lu Lian as he said calmly, I'm willing. Lu Lian nodded her head and said, It's just as you said. I'm not someone's goods. My fate is in my own hands. I'm willing to believe you. Ha ha ha, good. I knew it. You're a good child with a bright future. Ling Xiao laughed heartily, completely ignoring the first elder's face that had already turned the color of pig liver. Damn it. The great elder was furious. Great elder, please calm down. I think that this young hero is right. We didn't do our duty as hosts. This is rude. We also made things difficult for him. This is even more rude. Young Hero Ling is an honored guest of our Lu family. He should be treated with respect. Men, bring a seat. Serve tea. Serve good tea. Lu Lian's father had been watching the development of the situation. He frowned and finally made the final decision. Compared to the great elder's face, his daughter was obviously more important. Chapter 1695. To Lu Qing, his daughter was obviously more important than the first elder's face. After all, as long as his daughter was cured, the Lu family would have their first Yin-Yang realm expert. They would be much more powerful than many large families. Moreover, judging from Ling Xiao's performance, he was not an ordinary person. Otherwise, he would not have remained calm when facing the first elder's murderous aura. Good. Very good. Lu Cheng, you're really good. As the family head, you're helping an outsider when an elder is being bullied. Do you really think we don't dare to remove you? The first elder said coldly. In the Lu family, the three patriarchs could depose the family head together. Do whatever you want as long as my daughter can be cured. Lu Qing was clearly determined, as long as his daughter Lu Lian could recover. Even if he was deposed, there would still be people who would re-elect him. In this world, strength was everything. Thank you for understanding, father. Lu Lian was very touched. In this world, if even a father could not understand his daughter, how sad would she be? Good, very good. Let this kid try. If he can't succeed, he can forget about leaving the Lu family today. The first elder said coldly. Lu Cheng was still the family head and his words counted. Therefore, the first elder had no choice. Great elder, you're making things difficult for me. You know my problem very well. Even the Medicine King's son, Sa, doesn't dare to say that he has a 100% chance of curing me. Why make things difficult for young Hero Ling? Lu Lian furrowed her brows. She really did not understand whether water had entered this first elder's brain. Why did he keep opposing Ling Zhao's treatment of her? Could it be? She suddenly thought of a terrifying possibility. No, impossible. Although the first elder is old-fashioned and stubborn, he is still the first elder of the Lu family. How could he harm me? Lu Lian shook her head. She could not believe her own speculation. Young Hero Ling, are you confident? Lu Cheng looked at Ling Xiao and asked. Just as Miss Lu said, no one is 100% confident in her situation. Ling Xiao said calmly. In fact, he was 100% confident. However, he wanted to see Lu Cheng's attitude. Lu Cheng frowned. After thinking for a while, he said, Young Hero Ling, how confident are you? 3 points. He didn't say much, but it was worth a try. It all depended on whether the other party had the courage to do so. All right, if that's the case, then please begin, young Hero Ling. If there's anything you need, please don't hesitate to ask. The entire Lu family will definitely help you. Of course, these were just polite words. How could the Lu family be of one mind? Thank you for your trust. Family head Lu. Ling Xiao nodded and said, If there's a need, I'll ask. Soon after, he looked at Lu Lian and said, The method that I am using is a secret technique. A third person is not allowed to see it. Therefore, during the treatment, only the two of us can do it. Do you have any objections? No problem. Lu Lian hesitated for a moment. She immediately shook her lips and said, although it was very risky, she was willing to try. Otherwise, with her current situation, she would sooner or later be defiled by someone even more disgusting. I have an opinion. How can a single man and woman stay together? What's more, Lian and my elder brother are engaged. Sun Wuji shouted. He liked Lu Lian, but Lu Lian was engaged to his brother, Sun Wushuang, a month ago. As for why, he didn't know. This matter had come too suddenly. He didn't like it at first, but now he could use his elder brother, Sun Wushuang, as a shield. Humph, the fox's tail has been revealed. Lu Cheng, you heard it too. This bastard has ulterior motives. He wants to take advantage of Lian in the name of treatment. Are you okay with letting him be alone with Lian? The first elder also snorted coldly. That's right, I think so too. At the very least, there should be someone watching from the side. The second elder also said. Lu Cheng's brows were also tightly knitted together. Ling Zhao's request was indeed a little unacceptable. After all, Lu Lian was already engaged. Although the engagement was forced, it wouldn't be good if word got out. Father, I'm not afraid. What are you worried about? Young Hero Ling has so many women around him, and all of them are as beautiful as fairies. Even Miss Luo, you can't be the best. Why would he like me? Lu Lian sighed and said. There was a hint of disappointment in her words. Her beauty was praised to the heavens in the Lu family. However, when compared to the women around Ling Xiao, she was really ordinary. Hearing this, Lu Cheng immediately heaved a sigh of relief and said, "If that's the case, then I'll have to trouble young hero Ling. My Lu family has a secret room that no one can peek into." "Thank you for your understanding, father." Lu Lian also clearly relaxed. She was really worried that Ling Xiao would fight with her family. At that time, she wouldn't know who to help. "Young hero Ling, please follow me." Lu Lian led Ling Xiao out of the hall, and then through several corridors, came to a secret room. After the door of the secret room was closed, it was almost completely isolated from the outside world. "Girl, you're really bold. Being alone with me in a room like this. Aren't you afraid that I'm a lecherous demon?" Ling Xiao smiled and said, "As I said, none of the women around young hero Ling are worse than me. How could you possibly fancy me?" Lu Lian sighed and said, "Moreover, if I'm destined to be so miserable, I'll accept it." "It seems that Miss Lu has a lot on her mind." Ling Xiao smiled but didn't ask. He didn't care about other people's matters. He only cared about the Taiji stone. "Miss Lu, take off your outer clothes, and then take off the Taiji stone." Ling Xiao suddenly said. Lu Lian was stunned for a moment. She suddenly understood why Ling Xiao didn't allow outsiders to be present. It was because she had to take off her outer clothes. Although she still had her inner clothes underneath, it would still be very troublesome if others saw it and word got out. I didn't expect him to be so meticulous despite looking so arrogant, Lu Lian thought to herself. She also obediently took off her outer clothes. Ling Xiao's eyes were extremely clear because he had already entered an ethereal state. In this state, the woman in front of him was just a pink skeleton. "What do we do next?" Lu Lian asked shyly. However, in the face of Ling Xiao's indifferent gaze, she felt a sense of disappointment. Women were like that. They were afraid of being remembered by others. If others didn't feel anything, they would be disappointed. After all, a woman's beauty still needed to be acknowledged by men. No matter what happens later, you don't have to be afraid. I cultivate a set of martial arts that can summon the heavenly demon fighting spirit and directly extract the demonic qi from your body. If you feel any discomfort later, you can tell me directly. However, don't panic, understand? Ling Xiao reminded her. I understand. Lu Lian nodded, but she was a little disappointed. She had heard of such words before. There was once a warrior who said it to her and tried it, but he failed in the end. Chapter 1696. The martial artist who treated Lu Lian was Xiao Budian from the Heavenly Demon Cult, an 8-year-old freak. Unfortunately, Xiao Budian did not succeed either. In her opinion, Ling Xiao had even less of a chance of success. However, Lu Lian did not say this out loud. She was afraid that it would dampen Ling Xiao's enthusiasm. Haha, Miss Lu, you don't seem to have much confidence. Lu Lian did not know that her expression could not be hidden from Ling Xiao's Tai Chi eyes. If the patient has no confidence in being cured, what else can I do? Ling Xiao spread his hands and said calmly, Young hero Ling, have you heard of the heavenly demon Gu poison? Lu Lian did not answer Ling Xiao's question. Instead, she asked another question. No. Ling Xiao said calmly, That's right. The heavenly demon Gu poison is the heavenly demon Gu poison that the heavenly demon cult developed using real heavenly demons. The Sun family paid a huge price to get their hands on it, but they used it on me. Lu Lian sighed. You know what happened behind the scenes. Ling Xiao was a little surprised. This girl was not as ignorant as she seemed. Of course I know. The one who used the Gu on me was the first elder. He wanted to curry favor with Sun Wushuang from the Sun family, because Sun Wushuang is a genius even more powerful than Sun Wuji. He is already at the 7th level of the Yin Yang realm in his early 20s. His future is limitless. In addition, the Sun family is good at using poison and has a close relationship with the royal family. If he curried favor with them, the first elder status in the Lu family would be even more respected. Lu Lian's lips trembled as she spoke. It was obvious that she had suffered too much in her heart. She just had no one to talk to. But he is not as good as you. Ling Xiao said calmly. Yes, Sun Wushuang is not as good as me. However, I am the only one in the Lu family. The Sun family has many geniuses in the military and the royal family. Moreover, Sun Wushuang and Sun Wuji are both disciples of the Tianhai Saint Court. Lu Lian sighed and said, You know that my father had to compromise and agree to Sun Wushuang's marriage to save me. Why did he insist on marrying you? Ling Xiao asked curiously. You're going through so much trouble. It can't be just to support that great elder, right? My physique is rather special. When I was young, I accidentally awakened the yin-yang fish martial spirit. As long as I have the pleasure of fish in water, I can greatly increase my cultivation speed. This is something that Sun Wushuang naturally wishes for. Lu Lian replied, Aren't you afraid that I'll be greedy? Ling Xiao smiled. Not to mention you, even a beggar would be better than being defiled by Sun Wushuang. Lu Lian said painfully, Now you understand. In order to obtain me, the Sun family spared no expense to obtain the heavenly devil goo. It really isn't that easy to get rid of it. Hee, you don't have to think so much. You just have to trust me. Ling Xiao said with a smile. You're still so confident. Lu Lian was a little surprised. I've always been confident, and I'm not afraid to tell you that I lied to your father just now. I'm 100% confident that I can cure you, not 30%. Ling Xiao said indifferently, What heavenly devil goo? I'm a real heavenly devil. As his voice fell, Ling Xiao suddenly transformed into a heavenly devil. The terrifying and ferocious heavenly devil faced Lu Lian, scaring her so much that she almost screamed. Hee, you're not bad. You actually didn't scream. Looks like you're indeed a promising talent. A slightly rough voice came from the mouth of the heavenly devil incarnation. Are you confident now? Yes. Lu Lian's voice trembled. She thought of many possibilities, but she didn't know that Ling Xiao actually had such a terrifying identity. Good. It's good that you're confident. How can a mere heavenly devil go defeat me? Real heavenly devil. Ling Xiao sneered. A terrifying aura was released and entered Lu Lian's body. At that moment, Lu Lian felt extreme fear, but there was also a strange sense of security. Don't be afraid. If I wanted to harm you, I wouldn't have waited until now. Ling Xiao said indifferently. I'm not afraid. Lu Lian shook her head. She endured the immense fear and the tearing pain in her body. She gritted her teeth and endured it. You don't have to endure it. You can scream out loud. That way, you'll feel more comfortable. Ling Xiao said, Anyway, this is a secret room. I just did some tricks, so no sound will be transmitted out. Lu Lian screamed at this moment. The ear-piercing scream could alleviate the pain in her body, but it was still unbearable. But she had to endure it. Only by enduring this would she be able to recover and have a future to speak of. Otherwise, her cultivation would continuously regress, and she would eventually become Sun Wushuang's plaything. In the secret room, a woman's cries and gasps intertwined, making it seem somewhat charming. Fortunately, the people outside couldn't hear it. Otherwise, who knew what was going on inside? Ling Xiao was very satisfied with Lu Lian's performance. He knew that Lu Lian was enduring immense pain. It was really not easy for her to endure it. Bastard, this kid actually blocked the peeping bugs in the secret room. In the main hall, the Grand Elder roared furiously. It turned out that there were peeping bugs the size of ants in the secret room. They could see what was going on inside from the outside. However, after Ling Xiao entered, not only was the secret room's door sealed, but the peeping bugs inside were also killed. Naturally, he was furious. Lu Qing, did you see that? This is what you've done. Your daughter might be sullied by that bastard inside." The Grand Elder roared. "Grand Elder, you've gone too far." Lu Cheng's expression was gloomy. "Are you trying to sully my daughter's reputation? Some words can't be spoken carelessly." "Spoken carelessly? Do you really believe that trash who's only at the 4th level of the Yin-Yang realm can cure your daughter? What a fool's dream!" The Grand Elder said disdainfully. "Why can't I believe him?" Lu Qing said coldly. "That person is Ji Luoyu's friend and was recommended by Ji Luoyu. Naturally, he has some ability. What's wrong with letting him try? Are you afraid that my daughter will be cured?" "What do you mean?" The Grand Elder frowned and said, "Do you think that I don't want Lianer to recover?" "Haha, Grand Elder, you know what I mean. There's no need for me to spell it out." Although Lu Qing said that, he was actually very worried. After all, that was his own daughter. If she was sullied by a stranger, he would be blamed. "Humph, Lu Qing, just wait to make a fool of yourself. Lien is poisoned by the heavenly demon vermin, other than the heavenly demon sex vermin. No one can save her. Not even the Medicine King's son saw." The Grand Elder suddenly snorted coldly. This was also his truest thought. When the heavenly demon sex Xiao Budian tried to save Lulien, he was still worried. After all, that kid was a freak. He was only 8 years old, but had a terrifying cultivation base. He surpassed many martial artists and was one of the 7 small saints of Tianhai. However, that Xiao Budian also failed. What was there to be afraid of? Chapter 1697. The charming atmosphere in the secret room was even more intense. The treatment had already ended. Lu Lien crossed her arms in front of her, looking very lovely. Ling Xiao, who had already come out of the ethereal state, could not help but be tempted when he saw this scene. Although Lu Lien was not as beautiful as Ji Luoyu and the others, she was a delicate girl that made men want to protect her. He chuckled and shook off the inappropriate thoughts in his heart. He took the Tai Chi stone and said, "Miss, you should change your clothes first. I'll wait for you outside the secret room." After speaking, Ling Xiao walked out of the door. At 17 years old, it was the time of puberty. It could be said that she was the most curious and sensitive about the matters between men and women. Ling Xiao was really afraid that he would not be able to control himself and do something wrong. He was a domineering person, but he always had a bottom line and would not act recklessly. "Young Hero Ling, thank you. How should I address you?" Lu Lien's face was red and shy. She lowered her head like a beautiful flower that was about to bloom. His heart was thumping wildly. It was the first time in her life that she was so honest with a man. "Heavenly Dynasty Empire, Ling Xiao." Ling Xiao answered with his back turned. After speaking, Ling Xiao stepped out of the secret room. The moment Ling Xiao stepped out of the secret room, he felt 2 gloomy cold qi attacking him from the left and right. Cold light flashed as they stabbed at his vitals. They clearly wanted to kill him. Ling Xiao had endured it before because the other party did not make a move. However, this time, no matter who attacked, he could not endure it anymore. He smiled coldly. He didn't even have to do anything, and the 2 cultivators who were attacking him died in midair. Outside the cold secret room, only a gloomy shadow flashed by. "2 trash at the 4th level of the Yin-Yang realm want to assassinate me? Isn't your Lu clan's first elder looking down on me?" Ling Xiao originally wanted to leave immediately. After all, he had already obtained the Tai Chi stone and trapped the heavenly devil worm in the mountain river world. There was no point in him staying here. However, he suddenly did not want to leave now. He already had the intention to kill. At this moment, Lu Lien just happened to walk out of the secret chamber. Her delicate face revealed a bit of surprise. It was obvious that the corpses on the ground had caused her to lose control. She had originally dressed up meticulously for Ling Xiao to see. However, at this moment, he was not in the mood to do so. "Young Master Ling, you should leave quickly. I know it's our Lu clan's fault, but you're no match for the Great Elder. You killed his men, so he won't let this go." Lu Lian felt that her heart had been snatched away by this man. There was even a moment when she felt that she could abandon everything for this man. Feelings were really strange and came out of nowhere. It was probably because of that charming treatment. "Let's go to the lobby together." Ling Xiao's voice was very gentle. "You've already recovered. Of course. We have to let your father know about such good news." "Young Masterling, you—" Lu Lian could not understand how Ling Xiao could be so calm. "If I said that I could destroy your Lu clan with just a flip of my hand, would you believe me?" Ling Xiao said indifferently. "Miss Lu, you're very kind and tenacious. Your future is limitless. Your father is also not bad, so your Lu clan should have a good future. However, that Great Elder is a parasite in your clan. If he doesn't die, your clan will have no future." "What do you mean, young Masterling?" "It's very simple. I'll help you kill him, and you'll give me a Taiji stone or other treasures of equal value to the Taiji stone." Ling Xiao smiled. "I really only have one Taiji stone. However, I do have other treasures of equal value. However, are you really a match for the Great Elder?" Lu Lian could not believe it. Ling Xiao could not be bothered to explain. He directly grabbed Lu Lian's waist and carried her. Then he rushed into the lobby at an extremely fast speed. At this moment in the lobby, Lu Cheng was clearly starting to get anxious. After all, too much time had passed. He had no idea what had happened in the secret chamber. This situation made him very uneasy. "Haha, if you knew this would happen, you wouldn't have done it in the first place. Since you're so anxious, why don't we go to the secret chamber together?" The Great Elder mocked. Lu Qing was about to say something when a gust of wind blew in from outside the door. A figure stopped in the middle of the lobby. In his arms was the beautiful Lu Lian, who was dressed gorgeously and had a delicate appearance. This scene made Sun Wuji's eyes pop out of their sockets. Even Lu Cheng's expression did not look good. His daughter had never been touched by another man. Now she was in the arms of a stranger. How could his expression be good? "Young Masterling, shouldn't you give me an explanation?" Lu Cheng suppressed his anger and asked. "Father, don't be angry. I've just recovered and my body is still a little weak. That's why young Masterling carried me here. He didn't do anything out of line." Lu Lian hurriedly explained. Women of the pugilistic world were not like ordinary women. Under special circumstances, being carried would not be a big problem. "What?" When Lu Cheng heard this, he was completely stunned and could not react for a long time. "Father, are you listening to me?" At this moment, Ling Xiao had already placed Lu Lian on the ground. Lu Lian walked closer to Lu Cheng and said something. Only then did Lu Qing wake up from his shock. "My dear daughter, did you just say that the heavenly demonic parasite in your body was expelled?" Lu Cheng asked again, thinking that he had heard wrongly. The three elders were completely stunned and could not believe it. Until now, they had not recovered from their shock. Even Xiao Budian, one of the 7 minor saints, could not get rid of the heavenly demonic parasite. But it was actually done by this unknown kid. Lu Cheng hurriedly placed his hand on Lu Lian's hand and injected his origin energy into it. After a moment, his face revealed an overjoyed expression. It was actually true. At this moment, other than being a little weak, the heavenly demonic parasite in Lu Lian's body was naturally gone. There was not even a trace of demonic qi left. This was simply a miracle. The most shocking thing was that the cultivation that was originally devoured by the heavenly demonic parasite was actually released at this moment. He could feel that his daughter's cultivation was constantly rising even if she was not cultivating. This was really too miraculous. How did he do it? Great kindness cannot be thanked with words. If young Hero Ling has any needs, just say the word. I, Lu Cheng, will not hesitate to go through water and tread on fire. Lu Qing could be considered a truly considerate father of his daughter. He did not ask how Ling Xiao did it, because he was very clear that this kind of otherworldly expert had a strange temper. It was not good to offend the other party. Anyway, his daughter had already recovered, and her cultivation was also in the process of recovering. What was there to be dissatisfied about? However, although he was very satisfied, there were others who were very dissatisfied. At this moment, First Elder had already recovered from his shock. He coldly glanced at Ling Xiao and suddenly sneered. "Good boy, now you've achieved your goal, right?" Chapter 1698. Grand Elder, what do you mean by this? Lu Lian asked in confusion. "You don't understand? This brat must have colluded with the heavenly demon cult and poisoned you. Then he came to get rid of the poison. He clearly has ulterior motives." The Grand Elder threw a bucket of sh*T onto Ling Xiao. He said coldly, "Otherwise, how do you explain that he could solve a problem that even Xiao Badian, one of the 7 minor saints, couldn't solve?" "You are simply unreasonable," Ling Xiao said coldly. "The 2 people who ambushed me outside the secret room were arranged by you, weren't they? He didn't come here to ask for a reward. He had already gotten what he wanted. Now, he was here to find trouble with the Grand Elder. However, before killing this old thing, there were some things that he had to make clear." "That's right. I sent them." "So what?" "You have ulterior motives. For Lu Lian's safety, I naturally have to be on guard." "Where are they?" The Grand Elder was clearly questioning him. "Dead," Ling Xiao said indifferently. "What? You dare to kill the Lu family's martial artists in the Lu family? Lu Cheng, you heard it too. Now, you still want to stop me from killing him?" The Great Elder was really the one who complained first. "Haha, if I don't kill them, should I wait for them to kill me?" Ling Xiao laughed disdainfully. Lu Cheng wanted to say something, but stopped. His daughter had already recovered, so there was nothing that he needed to ask of Ling Xiao. Therefore, although he wouldn't blame Ling Xiao, he didn't intend to protect him either. This made Ling Xiao's heart cold. Although this person loved his daughter, he was also a petty and ungrateful person. "Father, young Master Ling is my savior. Are you going to watch as the Grand Elder harm him?" Lu Lian's attitude was very clear. She stood in front of Ling Xiao. She wouldn't allow anyone to hurt Ling Xiao. Otherwise, she wouldn't have the face to continue living. "Miss Lu, please step aside." Ling Xiao's voice abruptly turned cold, causing Lu Lian's heart to tremble violently, feeling somewhat desolate. However, Ling Xiao had to do this. He could not let Lu Lian become the enemy of the entire Lu clan for him. Therefore, after he killed the chief patriarch, he would leave and no longer have anything to do with the Lu family. He would pretend that he had never met them. "Sun Wuji, kill him!" Ling Xiao suddenly looked at Sun Wuji and ordered. When Sun Wuji heard Ling Xiao's order, he froze. His eyes were filled with killing intent. He was originally standing behind the Great Elder. At this moment, he suddenly drew his sword and pierced through the Great Elder's heart. Although the Great Elder didn't die, he was seriously injured. He furiously turned around and sent Sun Wuji flying with a palm strike. However, as Sun Wuji flew out, the force of the sword had already destroyed the Great Elder's heart. Even a yin-yang realm martial artist would die without a heart under normal circumstances. The Great Elder quickly collapsed to the ground. He looked at Sun Wuji, who had been killed by his palm strike, in horror. He didn't understand. The plan that he had painstakingly devised had failed so easily. Why did Sun Wuji listen to that brat? He didn't understand at all. When he died, he was a muddle-headed ghost. This scene happened so quickly that Lu Qing and the other 2 elders couldn't react in time. Lu Lian also didn't understand what was going on. Then she heard Ling Xiao say, "Miss Lu, we'll meet again at the White Tiger Summit. The goo poison in your body has been removed." I believe that you can recover your former cultivation in about 10 days. If we meet again at the White Tiger Summit, don't show mercy." After saying that, Ling Xiao turned around and left. "Stop! How can we let you leave so easily after killing the Great Elder?" The second elder and the third elder quickly rushed out and tried to block Ling Xiao's path. "I'll kill whoever dares to stop him." Lu Lian suddenly rushed out and stared coldly at the two elders. She said coldly, "Although my cultivation hasn't fully recovered, killing the two of you is a piece of cake." Her aura was much stronger than before, and it exuded a murderous aura. "But he killed the Great Elder." The two elders said, "So what if he killed him? The Great Elder deserved to die. He attacked my savior. Even if he didn't kill him, I would have killed him. Since when did our Lu family become such an ungrateful family?" After recovering a lot of her cultivation, Lu Lian became more confident in her words. The delicate and easy-to-bully girl now had a real domineering aura. "Elders, let's stop. Let young Masterling leave." Lu Qing still favored his daughter more. Moreover, he felt that Ling Xiao was not a simple person and didn't want to offend him. Lu Lian heaved a sigh of relief when she saw that the second elder and the third elder had given up. Although her aura was strong, it was just a facade. With her cultivation, it was impossible for her to recover so quickly. It was just that her aura had recovered to its former strength. Lu Lian turned to look at Ling Xiao, but found that Ling Xiao's figure had already disappeared. If Ling Xiao wanted to leave, who in the Lu family could stop him? She hurried out the door. No matter what, there were some things that she had to say. Moreover, she hadn't given Ling Xiao the reward she promised. Lu Lian chased out of the door, but she still couldn't see Ling Xiao. Her eyes became blurry. "Do you really hate me that much? You won't even let me say a word of thanks?" Before she finished speaking, she suddenly felt her body become light. She was pulled up. Ling Xiao didn't leave. Instead, he stood on the roof. He just didn't want to see the faces of the rest of the Lu family. Lu Lian was still a good person. "You didn't leave." Lu Lian looked at Ling Xiao excitedly. "Why should I leave? I didn't even get the reward." Ling Xiao said with a smile, "By the way, I promised you that I would give you another treasure of the Lu family." Lu Lian suddenly became shy. "Another treasure?" "Yes, the Lu family has another treasure other than the Taiji stone." "That's great, as long as you're willing to give it to me. I'm naturally willing to accept it," Ling Xiao said with a smile. "Really?" Lu Lian asked. "Of course. Is there anyone who doesn't like treasures?" Ling Xiao didn't quite understand why Lu Lian would ask this. Lu Lian smiled sweetly and said, "All right, a man of his word can't be taken back. Don't go back on your word." Hearing this, Ling Xiao suddenly had a very bad premonition. "The other treasure of our Lu family is naturally me. Do you dare to take it?" After Lu Lian said this, her entire body turned red like a blooming red rose. "How can I take this?" Ling Xiao was stunned. "Why can't I take it? If you take me, Sun Wuxuan will definitely look down on me. After all, those people value reputation very much. Why would they like a broken shoe like me?" The more Lu Lian spoke, the more confident she became. Her blushing face gradually returned to normal. It seemed that she had really made up her mind. Chapter 1699. I'm only 17. Ling Xiao avoided the topic. Even though he was usually handsome, he was still inexperienced when it came to women. How could he stand being seduced by a beautiful girl? So what if you're 17? On the White Tiger continent, there are plenty of people who get married and have children at the age of 16. Lu Lian bit her lips and said, "Unless you look down on me and dislike me. I already have a woman I like." Ling Xiao said straightforwardly, "I don't care." Lu Lian shook her head. She was very decisive and did not hesitate at all. It was as if she had already made up her mind. But I care. Ling Xiao shook his head and said, just as Lu Lian was about to say something, there was a sudden commotion below. Oh no, Sun Clan Sun Wushuang has brought people here. I'm afraid they're going to forcefully take young Miss away. Hearing this, Lu Lian frowned. Then she looked at Ling Xiao and said, if you're not willing, then I can only die today to prove my sincerity. In any case, I won't give myself to that Sun Wushuang no matter what. Lu Lian jumped down from the roof and arrived at the courtyard. At this moment, Lu Qing and the two elders just happened to rush out. Lian, you've caught up with young Master Ling? Lu Qing asked. Lu Lian nodded. She seemed to be at a loss. Sai, my good daughter, if he wants to leave, then let him leave. It's impossible between you and him. Lu Qing sighed and said, even if you really like him, if you get together with him, you'll be harming him instead. Can he be stronger than Sun Wushuang? He's weaker than Sun Wushuang, and even caused the death of Sun Wushuang's younger brother, Sun Wuji. Can he live? It's not that I don't like young Master Ling, but the reality is too cruel. It's not up to us. Hearing this, Lu Lian's eyes gradually became clear. She was no longer in a daze. Yes, just like what her father said. Ling Xiao's cultivation was only at the 4th level of the Yin-Yang realm. Although he had a strange ability, the huge gap between their cultivations could not be closed by that strange power. It turned out that he had almost harmed Ling Xiao. You rejected me because you're afraid of Sun Wushuang, right? Lu Lian raised her head to look at the sky and said disappointedly. This sentence made Ling Xiao, who was about to leave, stay. What a joke! Would he, Ling Xiao, be afraid of a martial artist at the 7th level of the Yin-Yang realm? At this moment, the Lu family's gate had become lively. Sun Wushuang brought people to the Lu family, which caused the whole street to boil. The Sun family was extremely powerful and could definitely be considered a big family in Sky Sea City. Among the younger generation, a total of 4 people had entered the list of candidates for the White Tiger Tempest meet. Sun Wuji, Sun Wushuang, Sun Yuanji, Sun Little Magic Beast. Among the 4 of them, Sun Wuji was the weakest and had already been killed by Ling Xiao. 1 level higher than Sun Wushuang was the person who had set his sights on Lu Lian. Sun Yuanji was the half-brother of the 2 above, and he was even stronger. However, the most terrifying of them all was none other than Sun Xiao. He was one of the 4 ferocious beasts of the Tianhai Sacred Academy. He was one of the 7 little saints of the heavenly ocean. His strength was terrifying to the extreme. He was also the Sun family's biggest backer. He was a wild child that the Sun family picked up from the outside. It was said that he was raised by a demonic beast until he was 7 months old, which was why he was named Sun Xiao. What a pity. If Lu Lian wasn't poisoned, her talent would be on par with Sun Xiao. That's right, but there are no ifs in this world. She's just a small martial artist at the 1st level of the Yin-Yang realm, but she's stalling for time and refusing to marry Sun Wushuang. This time, Sun Wushuang must have been forced into a corner. This Sun Wushuang is also very unreasonable. He doesn't give the Lu family any face. So what if he doesn't give face? Who asked the Sun family to be so powerful? Who asked Sun Wushuang to have a good brother, Sun Xiao? Moreover, the Lu family is just a big family. The Sun family is a prominent family. They're already giving face by being willing to marry Lu Lian as a concubine. That girl doesn't know what's good for her. Although there were some in the crowd who sympathized with Lu Lian, most of them felt that there was nothing wrong with what the Sun family did. In this mystic world where the strong preyed on the weak, strength and influence were the only criteria. If you were strong enough, you could surpass the rules and do what you wanted to do. Even if the Sun family really destroyed the Lu family, no one would care. This was the cruel reality. Ling Xiao sat on the roof and stared coldly at these people's discussion. His eyes were cold. Although he rejected Lu Lian's good intentions of marrying him, his good impression of this girl was not fake. Since he didn't leave, he would just observe the situation. When Sun Wushuang brought a group of martial artists from the Sun family to the Lu family, the two elders couldn't wait to welcome them. Young Master Wushuang is in good health. They really looked like the two servants of the Sun family. Good health, good health. Sun Wushuang waved his hand casually. Then he looked at Lu Cheng, who was standing behind him, and said, "Father-in-law, I'm here to marry Lu Lian. I've specially prepared a generous gift." After he finished speaking, people carried out boxes of things and opened them. Spirit stones, precious herbs, pills, magic treasures, talismans, and all kinds of rare materials. There were hundreds of boxes full. They were priceless. The onlookers were jealous. They thought that it would be great if Sun Wushuang took a fancy to their daughter. However, Lu Cheng didn't care about these things. His Lu family was a large family. They had these things. He couldn't really sell his daughter. Moreover, he was a father who loved his daughter very much. "Young Master Wushuang, why don't you rest in the hall first? There are some things I need to report to you." The second elder lowered his voice and said, "At this time, the two corpses in the hall hadn't been dealt with yet." The second elder clearly wanted to tell Sun Wushuang about Sun Wuji's death, and then let Sun Wushuang take revenge for the first elder. Rest for what? As long as Lu Lian agrees, I can marry her and bring her back to the Sun family. She's my cousin. We can be considered relatives. Why do we have so many rules? Sun Wushuang waved his hand. The second elder had no choice but to simply explain the matter in Sun Wushuang's ear. What? Sun Wushuang was furious when he heard this. Sun Wuji was his younger brother. He was also one of the Sun families for candidates to participate in the White Tiger meet. How could he be killed? Who did it? Sun Wushuang asked coldly. A boy with the surname Ling. He lives in the Yingjie Pavilion and is familiar with Jiluyu. The second elder hurriedly replied, "Ling Xiao." Sun Wushuang was a member of the Sun family. Of course, he knew who lived in the Yingjie Pavilion. When he heard the second elder's words, he immediately remembered. Yes. It's Ling Xiao. Not only did he kill Sun Wuji, but he also killed the first elder. This is a heinous crime. The third elder also came over and said, "Second elder, third elder, you really know how to talk nonsense. Wasn't it Sun Wuji who killed the first elder?" Sun Wuji was killed by the first elder's counterattack. How is Brother Ling involved? The way Lu Lian addressed Ling Xiao changed 3 times in a day. This showed that her feelings for Ling Xiao had deepened. Chapter 1700. Lu Lian changed the way she addressed Ling Xiao 3 times a day. Now, she even called him Big Brother Ling. This made Ling Xiao, who was standing on the roof, feel a little helpless. He could feel the girl's passion, but unfortunately his heart was on the Moon Lady. The rest of the time, other than cultivation, it was cultivation. It was impossible for him to accept Lu Lian. Is that really the case? Sun Wushuang asked coldly, "Young Master Wushuang, don't listen to that girl's nonsense. That Lingai helped her break the heavenly devil insect goo. That's why she's protecting that Ling Xiao." Second elder said again, "The heavenly devil insect goo was broken." Sun Wushuang's figure suddenly flashed as he tried to get closer to Lu Lian. However, he was stopped halfway by Lu Cheng. "Young Master Wushuang, please conduct yourself with dignity." Lu Cheng said coldly, "Lu Cheng, calling you father-in-law is giving you face. Do you really think you're wearing a hat? Let me tell you today, immediately dress your daughter up and leave with me. Otherwise, I'll destroy the Lu family." Sun Wushuang revealed his killing intent as he looked coldly at Lu Cheng. He did not care about this future father-in-law at all. His cultivation was not inferior to Lu Cheng's, not to mention his brother Sun Yuanji and his brother Sun Little Magical Beast. It was easy to destroy the Lu family. Sun Wushuang, don't go overboard. Lu Qing was so angry that his body trembled. Overboard? My brother's son Wuji died in your Lu family. Moreover, his death was unclear. Not only are you protecting the murderer, you're also trying to break off the marriage. Even if I destroy your Lu family, it'll be reasonable in front of the emperor. Sun Wushuang said coldly, I suddenly thought of a good idea, hee. He suddenly smiled and said, Go to the outstanding building immediately and capture that Ling Xiao. I'll only give you half an hour. After that, for every minute that passes, I'll kill one person from your Lu family. I'll go with you. Is that okay? Lu Lian did not want to see her father being forced like this. She also did not want to see her father and Ling Xiao become enemies. Therefore, she stood up. I can marry you now. You can do whatever you want. I'll accept it. An expression of despair appeared on Lu Lian's face, but there was determination in her eyes. Lian, you're crazy. Lu Cheng shouted. Your gu poison has been removed. You have a bright future ahead of you. Go back to your master. She will protect you. No, father. I can't just watch as the Lu clan is destroyed. Lu Lian shook her head and looked at Sun Wushuang again. Let's go, Sun Wushuang. Have you caused enough trouble? Hee. What's the use of saying these words? Even if you don't come with me today, I will still force you. So whatever you say is useless. On the contrary, your words make me very unhappy. You are actually willing to sell yourself in order to protect that Ling Xiao. I'm so jealous. Very unhappy. Lu Qing, what are you waiting for? Do you really want me to start a massacre? Sun Wushuang sneered. Suddenly, a ferocious expression appeared on his face. He suddenly attacked and killed a warrior of the Lu family nearby. That martial artist didn't even have the chance to struggle before he died. Seeing this scene, a cry of surprise came from the crowd. This Sun Wushuang was too rude and unreasonable. Not only did he forcefully snatch someone else's daughter, but he also wanted to kill everyone in the Lu family. This was simply bullying to the extreme. On the Lu family side, there were already many martial artists who knelt down to Sun Wushuang. Young Master Wushuang, we are willing to submit to the Sun family. Please spare our lives. Other than those who are especially loyal, who else would be willing to give up their lives like this? What does my Sun family need trash like you for? Sun Wushuang coldly glanced at those people, then looked at the few martial artists who didn't kneel down to beg for mercy. Instead, they were eyeing him covetously. He smiled and said, You people are not bad. If you are willing to submit, I can spare your lives. Sun Wushuang, even a rabbit bites when cornered. It's best to leave a way out for yourself. Don't go too far. Otherwise, our Lu family won't let you have an easy time. As the family head, how could Lu Qing not have any hatred when his family was humiliated like this? The current him was simply about to explode from anger. The other party was really too much of a bully. Hoo-hoo, so what if this young master bullies people intolerably? So what if I'm unreasonable? Your Lu family killed my younger brother and even attempted to harbor the murderer. This young master gave you a chance to let you atone for your crimes. It's already giving a lot of face. It's you who didn't know how to cherish it. Sun Wushuang chuckled coldly and said, Lu Qing, don't strut around there anymore. This young master isn't afraid of you. If forced into a corner, I'll even kill you too. He was really unbridled, because the Lu family's strongest were Lu Cheng and Head Elder, and these two people were not his, Sun Wushuang's match. This was the disparity between a large family and a prominent family. Moreover, right now, Second Elder and Third Elder also had the intention of submitting to him. The Lu family's hearts were long scattered. Lu Lian was currently very pained and shocked in her heart. She did not think that Sun Wushuang was actually so rude. She was already willing to sacrifice herself. Not only was the other party unwilling, he even wanted her father to go kill Ling Xiao. Furthermore, he only gave half an hour's time. She originally wanted to avoid this tragedy. In the end, she discovered how powerless she was. She really couldn't do anything about shameless people. Young Master Wushuang, let's go kill that Ling Xiao. After all, second elder and third elder were members of the Lu family. Although the two of them wholeheartedly wanted to avenge head elder, they could not watch the Lu family be destroyed without doing anything. You guys can't. I want that old thing Lu Chang he. This Sun Wushuang was really cunning. He wanted Lu Qing to kill Lu Lian's savior. This was completely to ruin Lu Cheng's reputation. Lu Qing could neither agree nor disagree. He was simply caught in a dilemma. What if I refuse? Lu Qing took a deep breath and asked, "Then kill." When Sun Wushuang's voice fell, another scream was heard. Another martial artist of the Lu family was killed. This Sun Wushuang was really strong, and most of the Lu family's martial artists were too weak. They could not even withstand a single blow. In the crowd, most of the martial artists sucked in a breath of cold air. This Sun Wushuang really killed without any hesitation. As expected of a prominent family, he did not put the large families in his eyes at all. If it was an ordinary person, wouldn't it be even worse? "Stop!" Lu Lian said angrily. Then, she jumped and attacked Sun Wushuang. "If you want to kill, kill me. They are innocent." Lu Lian had been very gentle since she was young. Therefore, many people in the family loved and cared for her. She was also very concerned about those servants. Now that 2 people had died because of her, how could she just sit by and do nothing? Go to the side and wait. Sun Wushuang threw a punch across the air. Lu Lian was directly sent flying into the crowd. Her body was weak and she spat out blood. She was already caught by the Sun family's martial artists. Although the goo poison has been expelled, your cultivation is still hard to recover in a short time. Very good. You are willing to die for a group of servants. You are really noble. Sun Wushuang sneered. Chapter 1701. Just as Sun Wushuang was speaking, a gust of cold wind suddenly attacked him. His mind shook and he hurriedly dodged, but the cold wind chased after him again like maggots in a tarsal bone. "Lu Qing, you really dare to attack." "Nonsense. You hurt my daughter. I'll take your dog life." This Lu Qing was definitely a father who cared about his daughter to the extreme. 2 people from the Lu family died, but he didn't do anything. When his daughter was injured, he suddenly went berserk. His eyes were blood red, clearly disregarding everything and planning to go all out. Sun Wushuang was continuously chased by Lu Qing and was really at a disadvantage for a while. The two's cultivation was similar. Lu Qing had more experience, while Sun Wushuang's battle strength was slightly stronger. But the problem was that Lu Qing suddenly attacked, while Sun Wushuang was passively defending. He was forced to the point that he couldn't attack, so this situation occurred. "What are you 2 old things looking at? If you don't help, I'll kill you both after I escape." Sun Wushuang suddenly roared at second elder and third elder. The 2 were stunned for a moment, then they clenched their teeth and actually attacked Lu Qing. They didn't want to offend the Sun family, otherwise they really wouldn't be able to keep their lives. Under the joint attack of the 3, Lu Chang was finally pushed back and fell to the ground, heavily injured. "I beg you, save my father," Lu Lian suddenly shouted loudly. Even when she was in danger, she didn't think of involving Ling Xiao. But she only had one father. She couldn't just watch as her father was killed, so she finally shouted hysterically. Sun Wushuang was stunned for a moment and turned to look at Lu Lian. He didn't understand why Lu Lian suddenly went crazy. Second elder, third elder, and even Lu Qing were confused. Could it be that Lu Lian's master came? "How is the reward?" A cold voice sounded, as if it came from all directions. No one could tell which direction it came from. "My Lu family not only has a Taiji stone, but also a 10,000 ghost banner." You took the Taiji stone. So the 10,000 ghost banner is your reward. Your reward for saving my father. 10,000 ghost banner? Ling Xiao smiled slightly. This was a type of magic treasure that could absorb ghosts. For Lung Mei, it could not be more suitable. If Cold Plum had the 10,000 ghosts banner, her cultivation speed would increase by leaps and bounds. She might even be able to catch up to him. That child had worked so hard to follow him and was always at his beck and call. He should reward him. Moreover, the stronger Cold Plum was, the more help she would be to him. All right. As soon as he finished speaking, a gust of wind suddenly blew in the courtyard. Many people couldn't see anything for a moment. He waited for the gale to dissipate. Everyone was surprised to find that Lu Lian and Lu Qing were both standing behind a young man. This young man was naturally Ling Xiao. In fact, he had long wanted to save them, but he was afraid that Lu Lian would pester him. It was only when Lu Lian mentioned the 10,000 ghost banner that he found an excuse to make a move. Lu Cheng's performance was not bad. In the end, he did not agree to Sun Wushuang's request to kill him. Just based on this point alone, he would not refuse to save this old man. I'm sorry, Big Brother Ling. I still put you in danger in the end. Lu Lian had always felt that Ling Xiao was hiding his strength, which was why she asked Ling Xiao to save her father. However, she was also worried that even if he was hiding his strength, Ling Xiao would not be a match for Sun Wushuang. He would not be a match for Sun Yuanji or Sun, Little Magic Beast. She had selfishly dragged Ling Xiao into this. I'm not willing to help. It's useless for you to shout. Ling Xiao smiled and shook his head. Moreover, didn't you say that your family's 10,000 ghost banner is mine? Big Brother Ling, you're really, really a good person. Lu Lian was extremely moved. You didn't even consider whether the 10,000 ghost banner really existed. You just wanted to find an excuse to help, right? Good person? This is the first time someone said that to me, hee. Ling Xiao smiled. This feeling was really strange. He, Ling Xiao, had roamed the mystic world for a few years. There were people who called him a hero, a demon, and a heavenly emperor. There were even people who said that he was an executioner and a madman. However, no one said that he was a good person. Who are you? You dare to interfere with our Sun family's matters? Sun Wushuang could be considered to have some eyesight, although his eyes revealed a cold, killing intent. After seeing Ling Xiao's movement technique, he did not directly make a move. Young Master Wushuang, this guy is Ling Xiao. He's the one who killed young Master Wuji and Great Elder. Furthermore, this guy actually dared to stay in the same room with Lu Lian for 2 hours. This was simply not putting young Master Wushuang in his eyes. He clearly knows that Lu Lian is your fiancé. The second elder hurriedly tried to curry favor. That's right. It's this guy. If not for him, that old thing Lu Qing would not be so stubborn. The third elder also said, The two of you are really unworthy of being elders of the Lu family. Now that the Lu family is in danger, not only did you collude with the enemy to attack me, but you also spoke without thinking and insulted Lu Lian's reputation. If I, Lu Qing, have the chance, I will definitely kill you. Lu Cheng used to think that although he and the 3 elders had different opinions, they were still from the same family. At the very least, their attitude towards foreign enemies could be the same. However, at this moment, he was really in despair. These 2 old guys were simply shameless. Kill us? You, Lu Qing, are already a half-dead person. Do you have the ability? The second elder said disdainfully, After you die, the 2 of us will naturally reorganize the Lu family under the wise leadership of young Master Wushuang, and let the Lu family rise to become a big family in Sky Sea City. That's right. Lu Qing, you idiot. You actually offended young Master Wushuang for an unknown brat. How can a guy with a hole in his brain like you make the Lu family strong? The third elder also said, Nonsense. The Lu family grew from a small family to what it is today because of me, Lu Cheng. You, three old things, are only elders of the family because you are older, but you are actually so shameless. Lu Cheng was so angry that he spat out another mouthful of blood. His face became even paler. Hee, family head Lu, there is no need to be angry. I will give you a chance to clean up your family. Although I don't like you very much, compared to these two shameless people, you are really much better. Comparing people with people, I really don't dare to compare. Ling Xiao suddenly laughed. The shamelessness of the second elder and the third elder didn't surprise him much. From the sky dragon continent to the divine phoenix continent, and then to the white tiger continent, he had seen too many shameless people like them. Therefore, he didn't find it strange at all. Really? Lu Cheng looked at Ling Xiao and asked, Here are 2 elixirs. If you believe me, you father and daughter can eat them. Ling Xiao casually took out 2 elixirs and gave them to Lu Cheng and Lu Lian. He didn't want to interfere too much with the Lu family's matters. It was better to let the Lu family solve it themselves. Lu Lian took the elixir and swallowed it without thinking. Lu Cheng hesitated for a moment. However, when he saw his daughter eat it, he gritted his teeth and ate it, because he had no other choice. Chapter 1702. Lu Qing could no longer tolerate the shamelessness of the Lu clan's second and third elder. He finally wanted to kill them. Hence, he ate the pill that Ling Xiao gave him. From today onwards, the 2 of you are no longer part of the Lu clan. I, Lu Cheng, have no elders like you. After eating the pill, Lu Qing felt the effects of the pill taking effect. His injuries started to heal rapidly. He knew that he had made the right bet. He believed that Ling Xiao was right. Lu Qing, you're about to die, yet you're still so stubborn. Do you really think that this kid who came out of nowhere can change your fate? The second elder said in disdain. Everything we did was for the sake of the Lu clan. Marrying Lu Lian to young Master Wu Shuang is the best choice. Bullsh *T. I, Lu Qing, may not be a great hero, but I can't give my daughter to a good-for-nothing as a concubine and endure being bullied. Lu Cheng said furiously. Well said, but don't be angry. You still need to keep your body for revenge. Ling Xiao said calmly. Kid, you haven't answered my question. Who are you? Sun Wushuang could no longer stand being ignored by Ling Xiao. His voice drowned out everyone else's. It was like a bolt from the blue. A shocking murderous intent appeared on his face. Didn't they already tell you? Why bother asking? Ling Xiao said calmly. Looks like you really are Ling Xiao, the Celestial Emperor of the Celestial Empire. How impressive. Unfortunately, in my eyes, you're nothing. Sun Wushuang said in disdain. I was going to kill you for touching my woman. Since you're here, it's great. Ling Xiao's cultivation was only at the 4th level of the Yinyang realm. As a martial artist at the 7th level of the Yinyang realm, he was naturally not afraid. Are you sure you want to kill me? The last person who said that was the Lu clan's grand elder. He's already a corpse now. Ling Xiao mocked. Don't think that just because you killed the Lu family's head elder with a dirty trick, you can really fight with me. That head elder couldn't last more than 10 moves against me. Sun Wushuang said coldly. Ling Xiao then hooked his finger and said, Since that's the case, then let me see your absolute strength. Big brother Ling, don't defend the Sun family. Even if you can defeat Sun Wushuang, the Sun family still has the stronger Sun Yuanji. He's ranked within the top 20 of the Tianhai Empire's candidates. You're definitely not his match. Not to mention that little devil beast son, one of the 7 little saints. Lu Lian hurriedly said, I'm already very touched that you were able to save my father. Father, give the 10,000 ghosts banner to Ling Xiao and let him go. This girl was really kind. In the end, she was still unwilling to let Ling Xiao die for her family. Before Lu Qin could say anything, Sun Wushuang spoke again. Leave. Unless Ling Xiao doesn't want to participate in the white tiger meet, where else can he go? Surnamed Ling, you should have heard of my elder brother Sun Yuanji and younger brother Sun, Little Devil's fame. If you know what's good for you, kneel down and end your own life. That will save me a lot of trouble. I can guarantee that I won't find trouble with your companions. Sun Wushuang released a cold, murderous aura and pounced towards Ling Xiao. His eyes were filled with disdain and indifference. Sorry. What's Sun Yuanji and Sun Little Devil? I've never heard of them. Ling Xiao shook his head and said, I only know that a piece of trash like you actually dares to call yourself a genius. The Tianhai Empire's strength really disappoints me. Impudent. Sun Wushuang's killing intent grew even stronger. After that, he looked at Lu Lian and sneered. Damned girl, I know you've fallen for this pretty boy. Then this young master will humiliate him in front of you, and then kill him. I'll let you know how lowly and useless he is. I'll let you know what the consequences of offending our Tianhai city's Sun family are. Finished talking, Sun Wushuang urged yin and yang essence energy. Above his two palms, a cloud of dark green energy actually revolved around. That energy had a pungent smell that assailed the nose. It was very unpleasant, giving people a feeling of extreme danger. Sun family's 10,000 goo poison palm. I didn't expect that Sun Wushuang actually cultivated to this realm. Terrifying. In the crowd, someone cried out in surprise. The rest of the people retreated one after another. It was as if they were afraid of being injured by this terrifying 10,000 goo poison palm. Sun Wushuang, stop. He's the celestial emperor of the Celestial Empire. If you kill him, it will attract trouble. Furthermore, he doesn't have any romantic feelings with me. The reason why he helped me is only for the 10,000 ghost banner. Why do you have to force him? Lu Lian suddenly leaped up. She, who had just recovered a little from her injuries, hurriedly blocked between Ling Xiao and Sun Wushuang. When people saw this scene, they could not help being somewhat shocked. Lu Lian already protected Ling Xiao more than once, and Ling Xiao was also willing to come forward to save her. These two people really had no relationship at all. They did not believe it. Sun Wushuang did not believe it even more. Within his eyes, flames of jealousy were practically spewing out. Once this girl is emotional, her brain won't work well. The more you protect Ling Xiao like this, the more it proves that you like him? Someone in the crowd sighed and said, Yeah, this instead harmed Ling Xiao. How can that young master Wushuang possibly let him off? Someone said again, What a pair of dogman and woman. Sun Wushuang's panting became much more hurried. He said coldly, to actually still be so affectionate in front of this young master. If I don't kill him today, I, Sun Wushuang, swear that I'm not human. You're simply unreasonable. Lu Lian said angrily, I already agreed to leave with you. Why make enemies for no reason? Moreover, I have no relationship with him in the first place. The reason why I'm protecting him is only because he helped me before. It's that simple. Shut up, you shameless, stinking woman, Sun Wushuang said in rage. If not for the fact that you're still a little useful, not only would this young master kill him today, I would also kill you. Shameless, not abiding by the virtue of a woman. Lu Lian was so angry that her entire body trembled. Just as she was about to speak again, she was interrupted by Ling Xiao's voice. Miss Lu, you'd better go take care of your father. Originally, I didn't plan on interfering in the matters between your two families. But since this Sun Wushuang kept saying that he wanted to kill me, then I can only accompany him. Ling Xiao's voice played it down, as if dealing with Sun Wushuang was as easy as dealing with a chicken. She could not help but be a little confused. Just what strength did this Ling Xiao have? She discovered that she could not understand this person more and more. Big Brother Ling, you have to think carefully. Even if you can really deal with him, the Sun family behind him is also something that you can't afford to offend. Lu Lian reminded. I don't want to offend the Sun family, but he keeps chasing after me and won't let go. Could it be that he really wants me to kneel down and end myself? Ling Xiao smiled and said, All right, you don't have to worry. I know what I'm doing. If the Sun family really can't get it straight, then I'll just destroy the Sun family. His tone was very relaxed, as if he was talking about an extremely ordinary thing. Chapter 1703. Annihilate the Sun family. This time, not only was Lu Lian shocked, but the crowd also felt that there was something wrong with this young man's head. That was the Sun family. Although the Sun family of Sky Sea City was not one of the top families, it was still a prestigious family. It would not be a problem for them to be ranked in the top 20. You want to annihilate them just because you said so? How dare you boast? Before Lu Lian could make way, Ling Xiao stepped forward lightly. His body moved swiftly, and he was once again standing face to face with Sun Wushuang. The two of them were only a few meters apart. Facing Sun Wushuang's terrifying killing intent, he still had a calm smile on his face. You just said that you want to annihilate the Sun family. Sun Wushuang did not know whether to laugh or cry. It was as if he heard the funniest joke in the world. Yes, what's wrong? Ling Xiao said calmly. What's wrong? Ha ha ha, so you're an idiot. Sun Wushuang was too lazy to explain. His Sun family of Sky Sea City was not only one of the top 20 families in the Sky Sea Empire, but they also had close ties with the Imperial family. Annihilate them? That would be going against the Imperial family. Idiot. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. To be honest, you're really unlucky today. If you didn't insist on killing me, you might be able to keep your life. But you just had to drag me down with you. Do you really think I'm afraid of you? As he spoke, Ling Xiao walked forward slowly with a calm smile on his face. It was as if he was mocking his opponent for being an ignorant fool. Sun Wushuang frowned. He really did not understand. What confidence did a 4th-level yin-yang martial artist have to be so arrogant in front of him? How could he still smile? If he was not an idiot, he would not believe it. Although I really have nothing to do with Miss Lu, I'm still unhappy that I'm being called worthless. A piece of trash like you is really not worthy of such a kind Miss Lu. Ling Xiao shrugged. How dare you call me a piece of trash? Fine. Then I'll really turn you into a piece of trash. A piece of trash who can't speak anymore. At this moment, Sun Wushuang no longer had any scruples. Ling Xiao had completely angered him. He raised his palms. As he circulated the power of the goo poison in his body, the green color on his palms became even more intense. The air was filled with a pungent stench. Many of the surrounding martial artists had no choice but to circulate their internal energy and hold their breaths, afraid that they would be poisoned. A few pitiful flies flew past and fell to the ground dead. The closer he got to Sun Wushuang, the more dangerous it was. This 10,000 goo poison palm was truly terrifying. Within the force, there were countless goo worms that were hard to see with the naked eye. It was truly terrifying. This 10,000 venomous poison palm is a palm technique that allows the weak to defeat the strong. The poison is so terrifying that even warriors with higher cultivation than young Master Wushuang would not dare to face it head-on. He's dead for sure. That's right. His cultivation is not as good as young Master Wushuang's. Instead of running away, he continues to walk forward. He's courting death. Rumor has it that cultivators who die under the 10,000 goo poison palm have their bodies rotting away. Their condition is extremely miserable. I have never seen it before. Today, I am fortunate enough to see it for myself. The crowd discussed animatedly. They were all shocked by Sun Wushuang's 10,000 goo poison palm. As for Ling Xiao, they really did not see anything special about him. Because up until now, Ling Xiao had not shown any signs of being powerful, causing people to not have any confidence in him. Basically, everyone felt that he was dead for sure. Sun Wushuang thought so too. Die. Die in the torment of pain. These goo worms will teach you how to be a ghost in the future. Don't be so stupid when you reach the netherworld. Sun Wushuang sneered. As he spoke, both his palms had already blasted out. The horrifying poisonous palms spread out in the sky, erupting into a strange poisonous cloud. The air was also dyed green because of it. The pungent smell became even more intense. It's still not certain who will die. Ling Xiao smiled disdainfully. A heavenly demon suddenly appeared behind him. It bared its fangs and brandished its claws. It was extremely hideous. After that, a black aura coiled around Ling Xiao's arms and rapidly condensed on his fists. The crowd felt an extremely intense, killing intent and chill in that instant. Their bodies trembled. Boom! 2 fists and 2 palms collided. The green and black forces tore and devoured each other. Both sides were actually evenly matched in this collision. This made the crowd cry out in surprise. The second elder and the third elder were even dumbfounded. However, before their surprise began, Ling Xiao sneered. The black heavenly demon behind him rapidly merged into his body. Heavenly demon incarnation. Heavenly demon fist. It was the same heavenly demon fist. Under the heavenly demon incarnation, the power of the heavenly demon fist increased explosively. Sun Wushuang also circulated his internal energy and blasted out an even stronger 10,000 goo poison palm again in an attempt to kill Ling Xiao. However, after another collision, the horrifying heavenly demon demonic chi actually captured countless goo worms instantly. Those goo worms' eyes turned red. They actually flowed backward and coiled around Sun Wushuang's arms. The 10,000 goo poison palm was originally used to attack the opponent. At this moment, it backfired on its owner. Ah! A shrill scream came out of Sun Wushuang's mouth. His face was extremely horrified. He retreated rapidly and vented his anger on a few of his family's martial artists. Only then did he transfer the goo worms on his arms away. However, at this moment, his arms were basically crippled. His meridians were basically crippled from being bitten by the goo worms. Waves of excruciating pain continued to attack him. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. How could Sun Wushuang believe that not only did his domineering 10,000 goo poison palm not injure Ling Xiao, but it was countered by Ling Xiao and backfired on him? This kind of thing had never happened before. One had to know that the goo worms that their Sun family members used to cultivate the 10,000 goo poison palm were nurtured by the heavenly demon demonic chi. Unless it was a true heavenly demon, it was absolutely impossible to affect these goo worms. Could it be that Ling Xiao was a true heavenly demon? He stared blankly at the horrifying and sinister face in front of him. His heart kept trembling nonstop. He seemed to understand a little now why Ling Xiao could help Lu Lian get rid of the goo worms. Even if this fellow was not a heavenly demon, he must be possessed by a heavenly demon. What shocked him the most was that Ling Xiao's fist force was on par with his for the first time when he was only at the 4th level of the Yin-Yang realm. The second time, he was even stronger than him. How did he do it? He was shocked, but the crowd was even more shocked. The first collision was already shocking enough, but this second time, Ling Xiao actually crippled both of Sun Wushuang's arms with a single punch. This was completely different from what they had imagined. What was going on? Was young Master Wushuang not in his best condition today? Ha ha ha, young Master Wushuang? Is this how you prove that you're stronger than me? The sinister heavenly demon avatar sneered. The huge body stepped forward. Those who dared to stop him were immediately entangled by the black aura. Their bodies withered and died. So what if he crippled Sun Wushuang's arms? Ling Zhao's goal was to kill him. Chapter 1704. The thick black aura became even more terrifying. Ling Xiao instantly arrived in front of Sun Wushuang. The huge hand grabbed Sun Wushuang, just like a person grabbing a struggling bird. Being grabbed by Ling Xiao, Sun Wushuang's face was pale and his heart was filled with fear. The Ling Xiao in front of him was completely different from the Ling Xiao who was indifferent and didn't have the slightest domineering aura. The current Ling Xiao was simply like a demonic god descending to the mortal world. Terrifying to the extreme. Let me go. Quickly, let me go. Otherwise, my Sun family won't let you go. Sun Wushuang struggled with all his might while shouting loudly. At this very moment, you actually dare to use such words to threaten me? Trash! You think you're worthy of Miss Lu Lian? Ling Zhao's hand gradually tightened. Shrill screams continuously sounded in the Lu family's courtyard. The frightened second elder and third elder saw this situation and wanted to turn around and escape. However, the Lu family had already blocked their escape route under Lu Cheng's lead. Both sides started to fight, and the scene became chaotic. However, the attention of the crowd outside was completely focused on Ling Zhao's palm. As long as the huge demonic palm used a bit more strength, the dignified young Master Wushuang would be crushed. I said before that you shouldn't have provoked me. If you didn't provoke me, I wouldn't have bothered to interfere with the matters between your Sun family and the Lu family. However, you don't know the difference between life and death, so don't blame me. Ling Zhao's voice was cold and emotionless. It was filled with killing intent. Let go of our young master. The Sun family's martial artists who followed finally reacted. If they allowed Sun Wushuang to be killed by Ling Xiao, then when they returned, it would be difficult for them to escape death. Facing Ling Xiao, although they were frightened, they had no choice but to bite the bullet. The group of people used all kinds of martial skills to charge at Ling Xiao. However, the result was like an egg hitting a rock. Ling Xiao didn't even make a move. The black aura was released, and the dozen people were all sent flying. They fell to the ground and screamed, "If you want to take my life, then don't do it. I'm only going to kill Sun Wushuang. It has nothing to do with you. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite." Ling Xiao sneered cruelly. Only now did the crowd realize that Sun Wushuang was cruel and tyrannical. This Ling Xiao was even worse than Sun Wushuang. This fellow was indeed worthy of being the celestial emperor of the Celestial Empire. He truly had the domineering aura of a celestial emperor. Friend, where it's possible to let people off, one should spare them. There's no need to be so ruthless. Suddenly, a person jumped out from the crowd. He was wearing a bright yellow battle robe with a crocodile embroidered on it. This color and pattern could only be worn by members of the royal family. Scram! In the face of this imperial martial artist who had suddenly jumped out, Ling Xiao only said one word. The crowd was shocked. This celestial emperor was too overbearing and arrogant. That was a martial artist of the imperial family. Furthermore, it was obvious that he had the bloodline of the royal family. He actually dared to ask him to scram? Is this fellow really only at the 4th level of the yin-yang stage? The terrifying heavenly demon battle intent and heavenly demon incarnation were like the descent of a demon god. They were terrifying, domineering, and ruthless. At this moment, Lu Cheng, Lu Lian, and the other members of the Lu family who were fighting were even more shocked. They thought that Ling Xiao was weaker than Sun Wushuang, but he had easily subdued Sun Wushuang in a few moves. Even Lu Qing could not compare to him in terms of strength. The first elder said that Ling Xiao was not worthy of Lu Lian. However, it seemed like Lu Lian could not keep up with Ling Xiao's pace. No wonder even Ji Luoyu was willing to be his friend. This fellow is definitely hiding his strength. This had become everyone's common thought. They could not see through Ling Xiao's cultivation, so they assumed that Ling Xiao's cultivation was between the peak of the 7th level of the yin-yang stage and the early stage of the 8th level of the yin-yang stage. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to defeat Sun Wushuang so easily. Moreover, he dared to tell the imperial martial artist to scram when he was persuaded by the latter stage of the 7th level of the yin-yang stage. The second elder and third elder were even more terrified. They only wanted to escape now and did not have the heart to continue fighting. However, the Liu family's martial artists did not care about the danger and kept attacking. As a result, the two of them could not break out of the encirclement no matter what. As Lu Cheng recovered from his injuries and his strength recovered, it would be even more difficult for them to escape. "Stop!" Sun Wushuang suddenly shouted in fear. "I can give you that woman if you want. I'll give you anything you want. Let me go. I only want to keep my life." Finally, under the threat of death that Ling Xiao brought to him, his mentality collapsed. At this moment, he did not expect Ling Xiao to let him go because he was afraid of the Sun family. This Ling Xiao was just as the rumors said. He was a complete madman. "Now you're not using Sun Yuanji and Little Devil Sun to pressure me?" Ling Xiao laughed mockingly. The strength in his hands increased again. "To be honest, I've never heard of them." "Ah!" An even more shrill scream sounded. Sun Wushuang's body was almost squashed flat. "Let him go, or I'll attack." The imperial martial artist pulled out a long sword and pointed the cold blade at Ling Xiao. His eyes were filled with humiliation and anger. He was an imperial martial artist, a member of the Sky Sea race. Even martial artists with higher cultivation than him had to give him face. However, the Ling Xiao before him did not take him seriously at all. This was humiliation, intense humiliation. He felt that he was being laughed at by the crowd like a fool. "If you don't have the ability of Sky Sea tyranny, I advise you not to attack. Otherwise, your ending won't be better than his." Ling Xiao said indifferently, "Do the martial artists of the Sky Sea Empire have no self-awareness? Do you dare to meddle in other people's business? How dare you? Do you dare to kill me? I'm an imperial." Before he could finish his words, a black shadow suddenly attacked him. The imperial martial artist did not have time to react. He was sent flying and crashed heavily into the courtyard wall. He vomited blood and was heavily injured. "So annoying. Imperial family, I understand what you're saying. You don't need to say it so many times. Disappear right now. Otherwise, the next attack will kill you." Ling Xiao's cold voice sounded in the imperial martial artist's ears. Aha! That guy no longer had the domineering aura from before. He crawled up from the ground and ran away while crying. "Just you wait." As if he felt safe, he cried out and continued to run for his life. Ling Xiao laughed disdainfully and did not care. That kind of trash could not pose any threat to him. If he wanted to kill him, he could cripple him at any time. "Now it's your turn." Ling Xiao looked at Sun Wushuang in his hand and sneered. "You can't kill me. You can't kill me. Do you know that my elder brother, Sun Yuanji, is a peak yin-yang realm level 8 martial artist? My younger brother, Little Magical Beast Sun, is a yin-yang realm level 9 martial artist. If you dare to kill me, you're courting death." Sun Wushuang screamed helplessly. Chapter 1705. Sun Wushuang originally hoped that the royal martial artist would be able to deter Ling Xiao. But in the end, he suddenly realized that this Ling Xiao was really a complete lunatic. He was simply impervious to everything. No matter what anyone said, it was useless. Once this guy made up his mind, even 10 dragons would not be able to change his mind. So what? Do you think I will be afraid? Ling Xiao sneered disdainfully. "However, I still have to thank you. Now I finally know the cultivation level of the 7 minor saints. They are probably at the 9th level of the yin-yang realm. It doesn't seem like a big deal. So you can really die now." Pooh! With more force, Sun Wushuang couldn't even let out a miserable scream. His entire body was crushed like a mosquito being crushed. He had been killed so easily. You are worse than a pig or a dog. This way of dying is very suitable for you. Ling Xiao removed the heavenly demon transformation and returned to his original appearance. He looked coldly at the mangled corpse on the ground. His gaze was cold and emotionless. How terrifying! How cruel! How crazy! Originally, in the crowd, other than the royal martial artists, there were actually many people who wanted to curry favor with the Sun family and stop Ling Xiao. However, when they saw the end of the royal martial artists, they completely gave up on that idea. When they saw this scene, they felt very fortunate. It was right not to make a move. Otherwise, it would be too unfair to be killed like a mosquito. This celestial emperor was simply overbearing. He would kill anyone who wanted to kill him. He did not give the Sun family any face, not even the royal family. In any case, they had never seen such an arrogant person before. It was really terrifying. As for the Sun family martial artists lying on the ground, they felt like they had a terrible nightmare. If they did not see the corpse of their master, Sun Wushuang, they would not have believed that this was real. Hey, do you guys think that the royal martial artist who just left will inform the Sun family? A voice came from the crowd. He definitely will. Sun Yuanji probably won't come. After all, he is one of the 4 ferocious beasts of the Skysi Sacred Academy. He wouldn't even bother to deal with a nameless nobody. However, Sun Yuanji will definitely come. There's going to be a good show now. Sun Yuanji is different from Sun Wushuang. His cultivation is at the 8th level of the Yin-Yang realm, and he's ranked in the top 20 of the Tianhai Empire's candidates. Ling Xiao is definitely no match for him. Don't be so full of yourself. Be careful not to get slapped in the face. Haha, a miracle can happen once. Do you think it will happen a second time? The crowd was abuzz with discussion. Most of the martial artists felt that although Ling Xiao was strong, he was absolutely not Sun Yuanji's match. All of you can scram now. Are you waiting for me to kill you one by one? Ling Xiao glanced indifferently at the warriors of the Sun family who followed Sun Wushuang and said coldly, after killing Sun Wushuang, the main culprit to him, the massacre was already over. He didn't have any deep enmity with the Sun family, so there was no need to exterminate them. The group of people turned and left. They definitely wouldn't return to the Sun family unless they had a death wish. Then, Ling Xiao turned back to look at the other ongoing battle. There were already many corpses lying on the ground. They were all Lu family's martial artists. Although the 2nd and 3rd elders were shameless, they were still strong. In addition, a large number of Lu family's martial artists were fence-sitters. They didn't understand the situation and weren't willing to help either side. In reality, it was Lu Cheng, Lu Lian, and dozens of Lu family's loyal martial artists working together to deal with the 2nd and 3rd elders. Lu Cheng suppressed the 2nd elder by himself. However, the 3rd elder started a massacre. Die! Lu Cheng finally found an opportunity. He raised his hand and slammed it towards the 2nd elder's head. However, at this moment, a terrifying aura came from the Lu family's courtyard. Enough! Killing each other in our own family. What a scandal! When this voice sounded, an old man who was so thin that he was almost skin and bones suddenly appeared. His aura was extremely evil. He was dressed in colorful clothes from head to toe like a madman. He also looked like a monster. Old family head. Lu Cheng hesitated for a moment before retreating. The ongoing battle stopped instantly. Old family head? Ling Xiao was stunned. He didn't expect the Lu family to have such a person. This old man's cultivation was at the peak of the 7th level of the Yin-Yang realm. His aura was much stronger than Sun Wushuang's. If he was willing to help, why would he be afraid of Sun Wushuang? However, this old man didn't appear in that situation just now. Instead, he suddenly appeared when Lu Qing was about to kill the 2nd elder. Ling Xiao guessed that this person was most likely related to the 2nd elder. Father, you're out of seclusion? The second elder was overjoyed. However, Lu Cheng and Lu Lian looked bitter. As expected, Ling Zhao's guess was right. This old man was the second elder's father. Rumor has it that the Lu family was once a prestigious family. However, the family had offended too many people and angered everyone. Therefore, he was besieged and heavily injured. Since then, the Lu family declined and became an unknown small family. After that, the matter of Willow City's revival occurred. There were many well-informed experts in the crowd. These people had nothing better to do, so they liked to gather information. Moreover, this wasn't a secret in the Tianhai Empire. It was normal for them to know about it. Lu Qing, you've really grown up. Your family's elder was killed, but you didn't deal with it. Instead, you attacked your own family. Where is the logic in this? As soon as the old man appeared, he began to bombard Lu Qing with questions. Lu Qing's face was ashen, but he didn't dare to speak. Perhaps because his cultivation was inferior, he could only endure. Old family head, your words are unfair. When the second elder and the third elder joined forces with Sun Wuxuang and almost killed my father, where were you? Lu Qing knew how to endure, but Lu Lian was furious. Of course, his words made sense. The crowd nodded in agreement. That's how it is. Old man, you're being too obvious by taking sides. Slap. Suddenly, a crisp sound rang out in the Lu family courtyard. Lu Lian's body was sent flying. However, Lu Lian didn't fall to the ground. Instead, she was caught by Ling Xiao. Seeing Lu Lian's swollen cheeks, his face darkened. He could ignore the other members of the Lu family, but Lu Lian was deeply in love with him. Even if he didn't want to accept her feelings, he couldn't just stand by and watch Lu Lian be bullied. Lowly girl, since when did you have the right to tell your elders what to do? The old man looked coldly at Lu Lian and snorted. If you had been obedient and married Sun Wuxuang, you wouldn't have had all this trouble. The Sun family is incomparably powerful. Why can't our Lu family have a big tree backing us? Now that brat killed Sun Wuxuang, if the Sun family sends people to seek revenge, which one of you will be a match for the Sun family's Sun Yuanji and Sun Little Magical Beast? Chapter 1706. Father, you're right. Your son also has the same idea. But Lu Cheng's brain was flooded with water. He was actually bewitched by that kid called Ling Xiao and went against the Sun family. The second elder said excitedly, but now there's still a chance to mend our relationship. That is, we can capture that Ling Xiao and send him to the Sun family to apologize. Perhaps we can exchange it for the safety of the Lu family. This fart is really smelly. Ling Xiao finally couldn't help but say, Old thing, I've always been puzzled about the source of the shamelessness of the two elders of the Lu family. Now I've found the reason. It turns out that it was passed down by a shameless guy like you. When Sun Wuxuang massacred the Lu family, what were you doing? Now you dare to hit Lu Lian? Who do you think you are? The Lu family was completely dumbfounded now. The one who defended the Lu family today was actually an outsider. The one who helped them vent their anger was also an outsider. Instead, their old family head and two elders actually blamed the person who attacked them. Kid, you haven't even grown your hair yet. What do you know? Sun Yuanji and Sun Xiao are powerful. No one in the Lu family can compare to them. If they come for revenge, the Lu family will definitely be exterminated. Not only did you kill Sun Wuji, but you also killed Sun Wuxuang. You're not afraid of the Sun family. If you want to die, our Sun family won't be happy. The old thing looked at Ling Xiao with a mocking expression. That's right. Whether our Lu family lives or dies has nothing to do with you. The second elder seemed to have become lively because of this old thing's support. He shouted at Ling Xiao, as if Ling Xiao had made a big mistake by saving the Lu family. Ling Xiao said sarcastically, You think too highly of yourself. I saved Lu Lian and Lu Cheng for the 10,000 ghost banner. I didn't plan to save you, nor did I plan to save your Lu family. But fortunately, I didn't plan to save you. Otherwise, if I saved you and was ridiculed for being a busybody, how much of a loss would I be? In the future, when the Lu family is in trouble, don't worry about them. Just watch the Lu family be humiliated to death. That's enough. These sarcastic words made many people of the Lu family lower their heads, because they felt ashamed. No matter what Ling Zhao's motive was, objectively speaking, he had helped the Lu family. He had stopped Sun Wushuang from killing indiscriminately and prevented others from humiliating them. Now that the second elder had spoken such words, it was truly chilling. You, don't pester us endlessly. How can it be the same this time? Your actions will only bring more trouble to our Lu family. The second elder stiffened his neck and said, So what? Are you qualified? Ling Xiao looked at the second elder in disdain and said, You really think you're something, huh? Lu? Are you an idiot? Ling Xiao looked at the second elder. He really couldn't understand how there could be such a stupid person in this world. Who do you think you are? Do you think the Lu family is important in my heart? If I want to save people, I only need to take Lu Lian and Lu Cheng. Do I need to explain anything to anyone? Ling Xiao said disdainfully, What's more, you're willing to be the Sun family's dog and think highly of the Sun family. I'm not afraid of the Sun family. Father, this kid is simply stubborn. You'd better make a decision early. The second elder couldn't win against Ling Xiao. This way, the Lu family can avoid the crisis of destruction. That's reasonable. The old man nodded and revealed a sinister smile. Old family head, don't you think this is a bit too much? I'm the family head of the Lu family now. You ruined the Lu family, and I revived the Lu family. Now you come out and pretend to be the boss? I don't accept this. I don't accept this. Lu Cheng wasn't the only one who didn't accept this. Many warriors of the Lu family also expressed their dissatisfaction. How could there be such a logic in this world? So what if you don't accept this? I'm stronger than all of you. I have the final say here. The old man looked coldly at Lu Cheng and said, You're the family head. If I say you are, then you are. If I say you're not, then you're not. Do you really think you're something? What's more, since you value the Lu family's current achievements so much, then all the more you should apologize. Sacrificing you and your daughter in exchange for the revival of the Lu family. Isn't that great? Old man, you're really shameless. You want to take away the foundation that others worked hard to establish with just one sentence? How can there be such a good thing in this world? Even if I, Lu Qing, am no match for you today, I won't let you get what you want. Although Lu Qing was afraid of the old man, there was a limit to his patience. The old man's actions had clearly crossed the bottom line of what he could tolerate. This was unbearable. You're courting death. The old man suddenly raised his hand. On his pitch-black palm, there was a strange pattern. Then, a strange giant beast appeared behind him and pounced on Lu Cheng with the force of a whale. Lu Cheng hurriedly channeled his internal energy to resist in horror. However, the old man's attack was too straightforward. Moreover, this attack had clearly been prepared for a long time. His hasty response simply couldn't block it. What's more, he wasn't the old man's opponent to begin with. It's over, Lu Qing thought mournfully. Bang! All of a sudden, a figure appeared in front of him and forcefully repelled the old man's terrifying palm strike. The one who made the move was naturally Ling Xiao. You want to kill him? I won't let you. He still hasn't given me the 10,000 ghost banner. Ling Xiao looked at the old man and said coldly, "What's more, you actually want to kidnap me and bring me to the Sun family? Do you have that ability?" "Lu Qing, didn't you want to kill the second elder? I'll give you a chance. I'll block this old man. Kill him in front of him." After Ling Xiao finished speaking, he suddenly looked at Lu Cheng and said, "All right." Lu Cheng knew that since he had already shed all pretense of cordiality with the old man, there was no possibility of a good ending today. He must kill the second elder and the third elder. After saying that, Lu Cheng suddenly rushed toward the second elder. His strength was originally stronger than the second elder. In the previous battle, he even injured the second elder. This time, it should be much easier to kill the other party than before. "Lu Cheng, you're crazy. The old family head is here. You still dare to mess around?" The second elder hurriedly retreated. "Don't worry. If he dares to kill you, I'll kill his daughter," the old man said coldly. Lu Cheng hesitated for a moment and looked at Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao didn't say anything. He just continued to hold Lu Lian in his arms with a cold expression. Lu Cheng gritted his teeth. Since he had chosen to believe in Ling Xiao, there was no need to hesitate now. Looking left and right and hesitating would only make his situation even more awkward. Chapter 1707. Kill. Lu Qing continued to charge forward. A green long sword appeared in his hand. It was filled with vitality. "Father, he really wants to kill me." The second elder became anxious and started to make a big fuss. "Third elder, why aren't you helping?" The old man did not attack. Instead, he shouted at the third elder. The third elder nodded. He was on the old bastard's side, so he had to take action. Otherwise, it would be really troublesome if he didn't please both sides. However, just as he rose into the air, a strange cone pierced through his chest. Shadow cone. It was invisible. It was hard to see with the naked eye. As Ling Xiao's cultivation increased, the shadow cone's sneak attack became more effective. The third elder was as shameless as the second elder. It was not a pity that he died. Seeing the third elder killed, Lu Cheng's morale was boosted. His attacks became more rapid and fierce. The second elder was beaten until he could not fight back. His injuries were getting worse. How could the old man stay still when he saw his son being tortured? He roared and was about to save the second elder. However, a figure blocked his path. It was not Ling Xiao. It was Lu Lian. "Lu Lian, I've already helped you release and transform the sealed energy in your body. Your cultivation has recovered to the 7th level of Yin-Yang realm, but it's not stable enough. This battle with the old man is a good opportunity to stabilize your cultivation. Don't worry, you're stronger than him." Ling Xiao did not plan to kill the old man himself because he was bored. Killing 7th level Yin-Yang realm martial artists would be a walk in the park for him. He was not interested in killing them at all. He would rather let Lu Lian fight by herself. Anyway, his Yin-Yang origin energy had circulated in Lu Lian's body and completely activated her Yin-Yang fish martial soul. The energy sealed by Lu Lian's goo worm was also released by him. However, the time was too short. Otherwise, Lu Lian could have recovered to the 10th level of Yin-Yang realm. Of course, Ling Xiao also benefited a lot from this. His Yin-Yang origin energy had been greatly enhanced by the Yin-Yang fish martial soul. His cultivation base that was originally at the late stage of the 5th level of the Yin-Yang realm actually rose to the peak of the 5th level of the Yin-Yang realm in an instant. Moreover, he was only a step away from breaking through. No wonder that son Wu Shuang fancied Lu Lian. Lu Lian's Yin-Yang fish martial spirit was indeed extremely beneficial to one's cultivation. It was simply too miraculous. Boom! A blazing flame appeared on his left hand. A ball of cold air appeared on his right hand. Lu Lian's body floated in midair, blocking the old man's path. She stared coldly at the old man before her. Since you are the old family head of the Lu family, I can give you a chance to turn over a new leaf. If you apologize to Brother Ling and my father right now, and swear that you will never interfere with the affairs of the Lu family from now on, I will let you go. In your dreams. How could the old man be frightened by Lu Lian? The pitch-black beast behind him roared, and strange patterns appeared all over his body. After that his hands trembled, and a pitch-black wind blasted towards Lu Lian. This guy is still quite strong. If Lu Lian can't continue to break through during the battle, she will definitely lose. Ling Xiao thought to himself as he looked at the two people in the sky. Even though the battle had yet to begin, he could already predict the outcome. Unless Lu Lian's cultivation base increased even more, she would definitely not be able to face this cunning and experienced opponent. Boom! In the sky, the two people's palms collided, and a violent force raged in the air. Lu Lian retreated more than 10 meters before she could stop. As for the old man, he only retreated 2 to 3 meters. Hee, although your cultivation base has recovered to the same level as mine, your experience and combat skills are far from mine. I will tell you that cultivation base isn't the only thing that represents combat power in this world. After I take care of you, I will also kill the man you like and send him to the Sun family to atone for his sins. The old man laughed coldly, and he seemed very pleased with himself. Don't worry about what he said. He's just trying to bewitch you. Ling Xiao reminded Lu Lian when he saw that she was a little shaken. Lu Lian was also a little dissatisfied with herself. In the past, she would not be shaken when facing the enemy's provocation or bewitchment. However, she did not know why this time, but just one sentence from the old man made her uneasy. The old man laughed coldly, and then the shadow of the beast behind him became more solid. The ferocious beast originally only had one head, but at this moment, it suddenly condensed 5 heads. Each head let out an ear-piercing roar. What kind of martial soul is that? Why is it so strange? That's the 9-headed demon bird, right? Rumor has it that the more heads this monster has, the more terrifying it is. Someone in the crowd said, 9-headed demon, bird, martial soul? Doesn't that mean that the Lu family's old master's attack this time is much stronger than before? That's right. Can Lu Lian handle it? The crowd looked at Lu Lian in surprise. They wanted to know how this delicate girl was going to fight the old man. Do you think you're the only one who has a martial soul? Lu Lian said indifferently. As soon as she finished speaking, a huge yin-yang fish appeared behind her. Flames and frost reflected on the yin-yang fish, and it looked extremely eye-catching. At this moment, Lu Lian's aura also became stronger. That's the yin-yang fish martial soul. I didn't expect that in addition to increasing one's cultivation speed, its actual combat ability is also so strong. Seeing this martial soul, Ling Xiao was also a little surprised. The 5 demon bird heads screamed and roared, releasing a terrifying black aura. A large number of strange inscriptions appeared in the air. Then, these inscriptions merged into the old man's palms. Kill. The old man attacked Lu Lian again. This time, he clearly wanted to kill Lu Lian completely. Yin and Yang fusion, Lu family's spear technique. First move. Lu Lian shouted and raised her hand, and a long spear appeared in her hand. The long spear shook, and the yin and yang energies merged into the long spear, erupting with shocking power. Then, she stabbed out, aiming at the old man's palm wind. Boom! The violent collision sounded again. This time, Lu Lian did not retreat. The black and white light released by the long spear was especially dazzling. Half of it was the flame sky. The other half was the frost sky. She was actually evenly matched with the old man. Bitch, I didn't expect you to have some ability. However, you still have to die. He roared, but he didn't retreat. The 9-headed demonic bird on his back actually grew 2 more heads. The power of his palms suddenly increased. In that instant, Lu Lian's spear light was completely engulfed. Even the long spear was destroyed as if it was a dried twig. You don't have a chance. The old man smiled coldly. The 9-headed demon bird behind him changed again, and there were now 8 heads. With 7 heads, Lu Lian was already unable to withstand it. With 8 heads of the 9-headed demon bird, wouldn't Lu Lian die for sure? Chapter 1708. A 9-headed demonic bird with 8 heads. Lu Lian can't be saved now. It's not that she's weak, but the opponent is too strong. She really has no chance. The crowd sighed. Lu Lian was once a famous female genius in Sky Sea City. Her status was no lower than Sun Lingchan and Mu Wanchuang. However, she was going to die in such a cowardly manner. Do you regret it? If you really want to deal with me, you should wait until your cultivation has fully recovered. However, you won't have the chance today. I'll destroy your cultivation so that you'll never have the chance to kill me again. The old man revealed a ferocious expression. The 8 demonic bird heads behind him screeched in unison. The wind from his palm became even more ferocious and evil. You're the one who should regret it. Lu Lian looked at the old man indifferently and said, If you used all the power of the 9-headed demonic bird from the beginning, I might have died. However, you don't have the chance now. She looked at the old man with some sympathy. She never thought that she would have to kill the Lu clan leader with her own hands one day. However, she couldn't show any mercy now. If she didn't kill the old man, he would destroy her. The crowd was stunned when they heard that. What did she mean? Did Lu Lian have another trick up her sleeve? While they were puzzled, Lu Lian extended her right hand. Then, a spear formed by yin-yang energy appeared in her hand. It was a blazing spear. It was an ordinary frost spear. The energy of ice and fire flowed on the spear. The weapon was completely formed by true origin. It was even more powerful than the weapon that was destroyed earlier. The terrifying heat and the terrifying cold mixed together. The crowd was shocked and terrified. They all avoided the aura that attacked them. Otherwise, it would be extremely uncomfortable if the aura invaded their bodies. Her cultivation has increased again. Someone saw through the clues. Lu Lian's cultivation seemed to have recovered a little after the battle with the old man. Currently, she was at yin-yang realm level 8. Her cultivation was even higher than the old man's. You're asking me if I regret it? However, you're the one who should regret it the most. Lu Lian calmly looked at the old clan leader of the Lu clan. She felt the burning pain on her face, and a deep hatred grew in her heart. The weak should be bullied. Only the strong could seek justice for themselves. Humph. So what if your cultivation has recovered to the 8th level of the yin-yang realm? Although the old man's face was solemn, he was obviously not afraid. The 9-headed demonic bird behind him let out an ear-piercing shriek. Then the 9-headed demonic bird's 9th head finally grew out. When the 9-headed devil bird grew 9 heads, the old man's aura also became stronger. Black smoke billowed from his body. The thick smoke had a pungent smell that filled the entire courtyard of the Lu clan. Any martial artist who breathed in this black smoke would feel a piercing pain in their throat, and their bodies would become weak. Those with weaker cultivations fainted on the spot, and even their inner strength seemed to be continuously sucked away. There were only a few people who were not affected by the black smoke. Lu Lian watched all of this with an indifferent expression. Although she sympathized with the cultivators who were fainted by the black smoke, she didn't dare to relax in the slightest when facing this old man. The elemental energy spear in his hand became more and more dazzling. Above the long spear, a strange yin-yang fish gradually formed. A terrifying fighting spirit burst out from her frail body. She was fearless. 9 demons hunt. The old man roared in a deep voice. Then he struck out with his palms, enveloping the terrifying 9-headed devil bird. Together with the black smoke that covered the sky, he charged towards Lu Lian. He wanted to kill Lu Lian on the spot. At this moment, he clearly had the intention to kill. Originally, he wanted to capture Lu Lian alive. However, after Lu Lian's cultivation recovered to the 8th level of the Yin-Yang realm, he was no longer confident that he could capture her alive. To be safe, he had to kill her. Lu Lian stared at the incoming opponent with a piercing sound. Then, she stabbed out with the ice-fire spear in her hand. Amidst the roars of ice and fire, the spear collided with the 9-headed devil bird. Boom! Boom! Ice and fire continuously collided and entangled. Lu Lian's powerful fighting spirit made her look like a Valkyrie on the battlefield. She was extremely domineering. The 9-headed devil bird martial soul was pierced through by the spear. Then, the black smoke that covered the sky began to be burned by the flames. It was frozen by the frost. The power of the ice-fire spear reflected the old man's horrified expression. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Lu Lian has successfully used the old man to recover his cultivation and won the battle. It seems like she is the one who is favored by fate. Ah! A shrill scream was heard. Then, blood splattered everywhere. Through the gradually dissipating black smoke, people saw the Lu family head's body fly out. His body was actually pierced with 2 eye-catching bloody holes. One was burning and raging. The other was freezing and eroding. Sigh. Seeing this, Ling Xiao could not help but sigh. After all, Lu Lian was not him. At the last moment, she was still compassionate and did not kill the old man. Instead, she used her spear to pierce the old man's meridians and cripple his cultivation. Lu Lian slowly descended and pointed her spear at the old man on the ground. Anger and coldness appeared on her face. Old family head, you committed a heinous crime against the family. My father let bygones be bygones and hid you away. He gave you the best cultivation conditions and allowed you to recover your cultivation. However, what did you do to my father? You actually wanted to kill him. You said that because you are strong, you can do whatever you want. Now that I have defeated you, you are nothing in front of me. Lu Lian looked coldly at the old man lying on the ground. Her voice was cold and emotionless. The crowd sighed. Hee, this old man is too shameless. Lu Cheng was so good to him. How could he be so ungrateful? I saw it long ago. He was so arrogant that he wanted to send Lu Cheng and Lu Lian to the Sun family to beg for forgiveness. In the end, he couldn't even defeat Lu Cheng's daughter. Not only is he shameless, but he is also useless. At the same time, the second elder, who was beaten to the brink of death by Lu Cheng, felt his heart fall to the bottom. The third elder was killed. The only person he could rely on, his father, was also killed. It was easy to imagine what would happen to him. He suddenly looked at Ling Xiao. It was all because of that person, that terrifying young man. Not only did he kill Sun Wuji, but he also allowed Lu Lian's cultivation to recover to a terrifying level. How could such a terrifying existence come from such a weak place like the heavenly dragon continent? Moreover, this young man was only 17 years old. With such terrifying strength, wouldn't he have a higher aptitude than Sun Yuanji and Sun, Little Magical Beast? If he was given a few more years, perhaps even Sun Yuanji and Sun, Little Magical Beast would not be his opponent. Die! Lu Qing cut off the second elder's head with his sword. Then he turned to look at Ling Xiao. He was also shocked. Ling Xiao's talent and aptitude were too terrifying. Perhaps even his daughter, whom he was proud of, could not compare to him. Chapter 1709. Previously, Lu Cheng thought that Ling Xiao was not good enough for his daughter, and he did not want his daughter to be with Ling Xiao. But now he suddenly realized that perhaps his daughter was not good enough for Ling Xiao. Fortunately, he had chosen to stand on Ling Xiao's side. Otherwise, he would have ended up in a terrible state. Lu Lian's heart was filled with gratitude and admiration for Ling Xiao. If it was not for Ling Xiao, she would have been brought to the Sun family by Sun Wushuang. Then she would be tortured and humiliated and finally die in anger. But now, not only did she survive, but her cultivation had also recovered to the 8th level of the Yin-Yang realm. If she was given a little more time, she believed that her cultivation would definitely recover to its peak. By then, the Lu family would not have to fear the Sun family. The old man lay on the ground and looked at Lu Lian miserably. His eyes kept darting around as if he was thinking of something bad. He really did not expect such an ending. He really did not expect that the brat called Ling Xiao not only had a terrifying cultivation, but he could also help Lu Lian recover her cultivation. Who was this guy? Hee B asterisk TCH, you're good. I've lost today. It's been decades and I finally recovered my cultivation to this level, but you crippled it. Even if I'm alive now, it's meaningless. Just kill me. The old man sneered and looked at Lu Lian. He knew that Lu Lian would not kill him, because Lu Lian could not be so decisive. Old family head, it's already come to this. Why are you still so stubborn? I won't kill you, I'll only cripple you. In the future, the Lu family will treat you like an ancestor, but there's no hope for you to practice martial arts. Lu Lian shook her head. She really could not do it. After all, the old family head was her second grandfather, her father's second uncle. A cold smile appeared in the old man's eyes as he thought, "Do you think I can't cultivate just because you're watching over me?" As expected, you still don't understand the power of this old man's cultivation method. There will be a day when this old man will kill you and your father together. Lian, get him to remove the black smoke. Lu Cheng walked over and said. Lu Lian glanced at the old man and said, "Old master, do as I say. You can suffer less. Are you really not going to kill him? If I'm not wrong, he should be cultivating the 9 nether devil arts. This kind of cultivation technique is already very strong, and coupled with his 9-headed devil bird martial spirit. Even if he doesn't cultivate, he can still steal cultivation from other martial warriors. Ling Xiao suddenly said indifferently, "If you keep him, your Lu family will be destroyed sooner or later." You. The old man looked at Ling Xiao in horror. He did not understand how Ling Xiao knew such an unpopular martial art. You don't have to stare at me with such big eyes. I just read a little more. Actually, the reason he knew this was purely because of the Yuan Venerate's reminder. Otherwise, he wouldn't have known about the 9 nether devil art. Lian, kill him. In the end, Lu Qing was experienced and knowledgeable. When he heard Ling Xiao's words, his back immediately broke out in cold sweat. Back then, he had been too benevolent to let this old man live. Of course, he had also thought of using this old man to do things for him. However, no matter what, he had treated this person well. In the end, he had actually raised a poisonous snake. He absolutely believed in Ling Xiao's words. This old man was really capable of doing such a despicable thing. She can't do it, so let me do it. However, I will kindly accept his 9 nether devil art and 9-headed devil bird martial spirit. Ling Xiao did not need the 9 nether devil art. His blood soul talisman could transform the enemy's cultivation into his own. The 9 nether devil art was prepared for Cold Plum. Cold Plum's cultivation method was very compatible with the 9 nether devil art. The 9-headed devil bird martial spirit could also be merged with the ghost spirit martial spirit to form a new 9-headed ghost bird martial spirit. Not only could it inherit the characteristics of the ghost spirit martial spirit, but it could also obtain the overbearing power of the 9-headed devil bird martial spirit. If Cold Plum obtained it, her cultivation would definitely improve even faster. Speaking of which, other than the Moon Maiden, Ling Xiao really loved Cold Plum the most. He was very clear that if the difference in cultivation was too great, Cold Plum would have to leave his side. This was not because of his will, but because of Cold Plum's personality. Cold Plum did not like to cause trouble for Ling Xiao and become a burden to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao also liked Cold Plum to be by his side. Although this girl was ice cold and not as interesting as other women, she was more reassuring and reassuring. As he spoke, he slowly walked over. The eye of the immortal pot. Above his head, a gourd floated there and sucked the old man into it. Even the black smoke scattered throughout the Lu family's courtyard was sucked in. An unexpected gain. Ling Xiao smiled slightly. This time he did not lose anything by helping. Lu Qing, give me the 10,000 ghost banner. I'm leaving. After dealing with the matter here, Ling Xiao did not need to stay any longer. This time he came out for the Tai Chi stone. In fact, he had already achieved his goal. However, what happened later disrupted his plan. But fortunately, his efforts were not in vain. That was enough. Please accept it, young hero Ling. Lu Cheng did not hesitate at all and directly took out the 10,000 ghost banner from his storage ring. This 10,000 ghost banner was actually refined by the old man who had just died. It was a powerful weapon used together with the 9 nether demonic art and the 9-headed devil bird martial spirit. Lu Qing did not have much use for it, so he did not feel bad giving it to Ling Xiao. Moreover, even if he felt bad, he still had to give it to him. If it were not for Ling Xiao today, he really could not imagine what the Lu family would be like. Not bad, you are a man of honor. Ling Xiao accepted the 10,000 ghost banner and praised Lu Qing. He actually did not hate Lu Qing, because it was impossible to expect everyone in this world to be as pure and kind as Lu Lian. Ling Xiao himself was not that naive. Therefore, he did not expect others to be like that. In fact, even if it was that old man of the Lu family, if he did not try to deal with him, he would not have to kill him. Young hero Ling, I have a presumptuous request. I wonder if you can agree? Lu Qing suddenly said, Speak first. Ling Xiao would not agree to anything carelessly. I believe that young hero Ling can also see that my daughter Lu Lian is infatuated with you. Can you bring her along and let her stay by your side? Lu Qing was a very realistic person. He saw Ling Xiao's terrifying talent, so he was prepared to take a gamble. Even if Lu Lian could not become Ling Xiao's wife, it was not bad to become friends. In the future, the Lu family would definitely benefit. What's more, this was not an unreasonable request. You can follow me, but I can tell you clearly here that I, Ling Xiao, only like one woman. Lu Lian can only be my friend if she follows me. She can never become my woman. You have to understand. Chapter 1710. Ling Xiao was a very opinionated person, especially for someone as successful as him. There were too many women who were willing to throw themselves at him. If he fell in love with every woman he saw, he would probably have more than 10,000 concubines and concubines by now. Ling Xiao did not even think about such a thing. A person who was obsessed with women would never be able to attain the great path of martial arts. He admitted that Lu Lian was a very good girl, just like Ji Luoyu, Feng Minglian, and Hai Mian Ko. However, if he did not like her, he did not like her. He would not force himself to fall in love with a woman. Lu Qing said awkwardly, Do you think Lianer is not good enough for you? It's not a matter of whether or not she's good enough. Lu Lian is very outstanding, but I only have one woman. Ling Xiao's attitude was very firm. I, Lu Lian, have set my mind on you. No matter what you think of me, I'm willing to follow you. Even if I have to keep my chastity for the rest of my life, I won't hesitate. At this moment, Lu Lian suddenly spoke. For a girl to be able to say such words, she was really desperate. Shameless be *TCH, you adulterer and thief. You killed my brother. How can I let you go today? Just as Ling Xiao was thinking about how to answer Lu Lian, a thunderous sound suddenly exploded in the sky. Lu Qing and Lu Lian's expressions froze when they heard the sound. Fear appeared on their faces. Quick, young hero Ling, take Lian and leave. No matter if you treat her as a friend or a woman, leave first. Otherwise, it'll be too late, Lu Qing hurriedly shouted. Although his daughter Lu Lian had recovered to the 8th level of the Yinyang realm, he still did not think that Lu Lian was Sun Yuanji's match. As for Ling Xiao, although he was talented, he was still young after all. He was also not Sun Yuanji's match. Leave. You still want to leave? Guard all the important roads and encircle the Lu clan. The voice exploded in the sky again. Then hundreds of figures quickly rushed towards the Lu family, driving the onlookers away and surrounding the Lu family. They are the elite warriors of the Sun family. They are all in the Yinyang realm. The Lu family is in trouble this time. That young man won't be able to escape either. The crowd looked on in horror. There were not many clans that dared to make such a big fuss in Sky Sea Imperial City, and the Sun family was one of them. It's over, it's completely over. Sigh. Lu Cheng's face turned pale. If his daughter could escape, then even if the Lu family was destroyed, there would still be hope. But now he couldn't leave even if he wanted to. Sun Yuanji alone was already terrifying enough. He didn't expect this guy to bring hundreds of elite warriors from the Sun family. This clearly meant that he wanted to destroy the Lu family. Brother Sun, it's that person. His name is Ling Xiao, a candidate from the Dragon Phoenix continent. The one who spoke was actually the Imperial family's martial artist who had been defeated by Ling Xiao. Sure enough, this fellow had gone to inform them. Just in time, the corners of Ling Xiao's mouth curled up into a cold smile. That's right, he did it on purpose. If he directly barged into the Sun family, it might be more dangerous. He might as well let this fellow go to the Sun family to get reinforcements. Not all of them would come. This way, he could continue to weaken the Sun family's strength. This was not for the Lu family, but for himself. Since they were already enemies, the weaker the Sun family was, the more beneficial it would be for him. Sun Yuanji was dressed in a bright silver robe. It was clearly pasted with silver foil. Under the sunlight, his appearance could not be seen clearly. Everyone says that Sun Yuanji is very flashy. Today I see that it's true. Yeah, he's wearing such eye-catching clothes. Isn't he afraid of being robbed? What's there to be afraid of? How many people in Sky Sea City dare to provoke him? Those who are weaker than him fear him. Those who are stronger than him fear his family. Moreover, the clothes he's wearing are not just flashy. They also have special effects. The crowd looked up at the sky and narrowed their eyes. Sun Yuanji stood there like a silver-armored war god. He was domineering and confident. No wonder he was one of the top 20 geniuses in the Sky Sea Empire. Although he was not as strong as his younger brother, Sun Xiaoshou, he was already very powerful. Many people were in awe of him. Young hero Sun, since you're here, why don't you come down for a chat? There might be some misunderstanding between us. Lu Qing took a deep breath. Since things had developed to this stage, he could only try his best to minimize the losses. If he could sacrifice his old life and give the Lu family's treasure to Sun Yuanji to save his daughter's life, that would be enough. Haha, misunderstanding? Lu Qing, do you dare say that my two younger brothers, Sun Wuji and Sun Wushuang, didn't die in your Lu family? Sun Yuanji smiled coldly. He leaped into the air and arrived above Lu Qing. He wanted Lu Qing to look up and talk to him. Ling Xiao looked at Sun Yuanji. His Tai Chi eye spun. To be precise, Sun Yuanji's cultivation was at the early stage of the 8th level of the Yinyang realm. Among the large number of martial artists from the Tianhai Empire who participated in the White Tiger meet, those at the 8th level of the Yinyang realm were considered the backbone. However, there was a huge difference between those at the 8th level of the Yinyang realm. From the early stage to the peak stage, each had their own differences. This Sun Yuanji was not considered too outstanding among these core forces. but he was still above many people. Ling Xiao was very interested in him. With his current cultivation, Ling Xiao could defeat a martial artist at the 8th level of the Yin-Yang realm. However, it would be difficult. However, it was precisely because of this difficulty that he could stimulate his potential and improve his strength. If he could not defeat Sun Yuanji, then he could not afford to offend a martial artist at Sun Xiaoshuo's level. This time, it could be considered as a test for himself. Young Master Yuanji, Young Master Wuji, and Young Master Wushuang's deaths were accidental. I'm willing to use my life as compensation. Also, the Lu family can give you the ice fire herb for free. You should know that the ice fire grass is very helpful to martial artists with fire and ice attributes. Young Master Yuanji, if you have the help of the ice fire herb, the yin-yang revolution technique that you're cultivating will definitely improve. Lu Qing knew that this matter would not be resolved easily. However, he was still willing to put in some effort to resolve this matter perfectly. Haha, why do you think I brought so many people here today? I want your life. I want the ice fire herb too. And your daughter. Since my brother is dead, she can reluctantly be a maid accompanying me in bed. Sun Yuanji sneered. The members of the Sun family were all so arrogant and unreasonable. It seemed like their family was too powerful, but it was not always a good thing. If they did not educate them well, then their descendants would definitely develop in the direction of being more and more unreasonable and unreasonable. Sooner or later, they would kick an iron plate. Is there no room for negotiation? Chapter 17:11. No, but I'm not in the mood to bicker with a piece of trash like you. Ling, you killed my 2 brothers, right? Sun Yuanji turned to look at Ling Xiao and asked. However, at this moment, Ling Xiao's gaze was on the imperial martial artist. It was as if he didn't hear Sun Yuanji's words. Instead, he said coldly, I let you live. I thought you would know the pros and cons, and then go back to live your life as a member of the imperial family. But I didn't expect you to go to the Sun family to ask for help. Have you really gone crazy from wanting to die? Ling Xiao, don't boast shamelessly. Brother Sun will never let you hurt me. Moreover, do you dare to kill me? You don't dare. You let me go only because you're afraid of the imperial power. Although the imperial family's martial artist was a little cowardly at heart, he felt that his words were very reasonable. You don't dare? The corners of Ling Xiao's mouth curled up into a cold smile. He suddenly raised his hand, and a crimson sun all flew through the air. Under the clear sky, the crimson sun all absorbed the power of the crimson sun and became even more dazzling. The imperial martial artist looked at the fast attack in horror and hurriedly hid in Sun Yuanji's direction. Insignificant skill. With me here, he can't kill you. Sun Yuanji was already angry because Ling Xiao ignored him. Now that Ling Xiao dared to attack the imperial martial artist in front of him, he was even more furious. He wanted to show Ling Xiao who was the boss. Yin-Yang rotation, 9-Yang fist. Sun Yuanji raised his right hand and a ball of blazing white light appeared on his fist. It was like the crimson sun. Then he blasted it out. The crimson sun all was smashed into pieces by this punch. He cupped his fists and smiled coldly. Ling Xiao, you're quite strong. No wonder you can kill my 2 brothers. But if we meet again, you're dead for sure. If you want to kill my friend today, you'll have to step over my dead body. Really? But I don't think it's that difficult. Isn't he already dead? Ling Xiao spread his hands and said helplessly, It's really not challenging at all. What? Sun Yuanji hurriedly turned his head to take a look. Only now did he discover that there was a shadow all stuck in the throat of the imperial family's martial artist, almost invisible to the naked eye. In fact, Ling Xiao had already seen how powerful Sun Yuanji was, so he didn't expect his red sun all to be able to kill the royal family's martial artist in one strike. Therefore, the shadow all was the real killer move. I don't want to die. Before the imperial family martial artist died, The only thing he left behind were these few words. "Don't do that if you don't want to die. I'm afraid of the Imperial power, so I don't dare to kill you. Are you an idiot? Why don't you go and find out how I obtained the position of Heavenly Emperor of the Heavenly Dynasty Empire?" Ling Xiao sneered disdainfully, then looked at Sun Yuanji mockingly and said, "I'm sorry, young Master Yuanji. I've slapped your face and embarrassed you." "Good, very good, very good. You killed 2 of my brothers, stealing my younger brother's woman again. Now you even killed my friend. How do you think I should kill you to vent my anger?" Sun Yuanji was practically gnashing his teeth as he said these words. Ling Xiao had completely driven him mad. If he couldn't kill Ling Xiao, he really wouldn't be able to calm down. His gaze towards Ling Xiao was filled with incomparable rage and killing intent. "If you want to kill him, kill me first. Now that my cultivation has recovered to the 8th level of the Yin-Yang realm, you might not be my match." Before Ling Xiao could speak, Lu Lian stepped into the air and floated in front of Sun Yuanji. She looked at Sun Yuanji coldly with a very calm expression. Ling Xiao had rejected her, but she was still infatuated with him. "You're really a bitch. My younger brother's body hasn't even turned cold, and your engagement hasn't been annulled. Yet you dare to protect your adulterer. You're simply shameless." Sun Yuanji said coldly, "Since you're so shameless, then I'll cripple you today and then kill that brat in front of you. I'll let you die in pain." He felt a strong sense of humiliation. He was a genius of the Sun family, but in Lu Lian's eyes he couldn't even compare to a nobody from the Sky Dragon continent. His pride and self-esteem were torn to shreds. A terrifying murderous aura was released and directly enveloped Lu Lian, causing her to tremble in the air. "Miss Lu, I appreciate your kindness, but you're not his match. It's better for you to stand aside and protect your family. The elite martial artists of the Sun family are eyeing you covetously." Ling Xiao naturally had to deal with the opponent that he found himself. How could he let Lu Lian fight for him? Moreover, Lu Lian's cultivation had just recovered to the early stage of the 8th level of the Yin-Yang realm. Although she was on the same level as Sun Yuanji, her cultivation hadn't completely stabilized and her body was still weak. With all these factors combined, she really wasn't Sun Yuanji's match. "No, brotherling, you should leave. With your strength, I believe those people won't be able to stop you. I'll stop Sun Yuanji. Although I might not be his match, it shouldn't be a problem to stop him for a while." Lu Lian shook her head and said firmly, "You'll die." Ling Xiao sighed. "What's so scary about death? I'm willing to die for the person I love." Lu Lian's attitude was very firm. "Hee, what a pair of adulterers. How dare you be so intimate in front of me? You don't have to give in because today you're all going to die." Sun Yuanji was so angry that his body trembled. The terrifying murderous aura was released even more fiercely. Not only did it envelop Lu Lian, but it also enveloped Ling Xiao. "Forget it. Young hero Ling, take Lu Lian and leave. I'm not talented, but I have some special methods. It shouldn't be a problem to stop them for a while." Lu Cheng didn't want his daughter to die, so he could only give up on his old bones. After all, he was old and didn't have much of a future. This person was really too good to his daughter. "Ha ha ha, I'm really touched to see how close you two are. Since that's the case, you two can die together. You can reconnect when you're in the netherworld." Sun Yuanji released his murderous aura again and enveloped Lu Cheng within it. "I say, Patriarch Lu, Miss Lu Lian, did you guys misunderstand something?" Ling Xiao scratched his head and said helplessly, "He's only at the 8th level of Yin-Yang realm. Do you guys think that I'm no match for him? That I can only choose to run away?" He was really speechless. From Lu Cheng to Lu Lian and the surrounding martial artists, including Sun Yuanji himself, they all seemed to think that he, Ling Xiao, was no match for him. Although Ling Xiao had never defeated a martial artist at the 8th level of Yin Yang realm, it wasn't because he didn't have the ability. It was because he hadn't encountered one yet. Lu Lian and Lu Qing looked at Ling Xiao. They didn't seem to understand what Ling Xiao meant. Were they going to fight if they didn't run? Sun Yuanji also looked at Ling Xiao and revealed a mocking smile. Was Ling Xiao scared out of his wits? At this moment, anyone could tell that other than running away, Ling Xiao had no other choice. Chapter 1712. Ling Xiao did not like to raise his head to talk to others. He instantly rose into the air and pushed Lu Lian towards Lu Cheng. The two of you should just stay at the side and watch. Then he looked at Sun Yuanji and sneered. Do you really think you're stronger just because you're looking down on others from the sky? Do you know that your behavior is really stupid? Your two younger brothers also lost their lives because of this self-righteous behavior. You're next. Everyone looked at Ling Xiao, revealing a look of shock. Could it be that Ling Xiao really planned to fight Sun Yuanji? In the next moment, they confirmed their thoughts. An extremely terrifying battle intent suddenly erupted from Ling Xiao's body. This battle intent directly suppressed the killing intent released by Sun Yuanji. This made Lu Lian, Lu Cheng, and the other Lu family martial artists much more relaxed. Was he really going to fight? Could this guy not see the difference between him and his opponent? Sun Yuanji was still high and mighty, and his attitude was extremely arrogant. He looked at Ling Xiao in disdain, and his lips curled into a mocking sneer. A mere martial artist at the 4th level of dualism realm actually wanted to fight him. A martial artist at the 8th level of dualism realm. It was really funny. Were the martial artists of the Dragon Phoenix continent brainless? Ling Xiao, you might be number 1 among the young martial artists of the Dragon Phoenix continent, but here, you're not even worth a fart. You should know the name of Sun Yuanji, right? All the martial artists of the Sky Dragon continent and Divine Phoenix continent are not worth mentioning in front of me. Sun Yuanji was not very happy because he thought that Ling Xiao would either be scared witless by his reputation and run away, or kneel down and beg for mercy. That would show his power and nobility. However, this kid actually wanted to fight with him. It was like a ridiculous rabbit shouting in front of a ferocious tiger. Although it was ridiculous, it made the tiger unhappy. Why should I run? You think you're a tiger and I'm a rabbit. Little do you know that you're just a sick sheep in a tiger skin, and I might be a wolf in sheep's skin. Ling Xiao said coolly. After I came to the Tianhai Empire, there were many Tianhai Empire martial artists showing off their strength to me. Looking down on me, a martial artist from the Dragon Phoenix continent. However, without exception, all of them suffered a crushing defeat or even died. Do you think you'll make a difference? Showing off? Sun Yuanji smiled and said, I don't need to show off at all. I, Sun Yuanji, am ranked in the top 20 of the Tianhai Empire's young martial artists. This is my glory. If you had a little bit of self-awareness, you wouldn't be so pretentious in front of me, because you're not worthy. Sun Yuanji looked down on Ling Xiao, and this had never changed. The Tianhai Empire was filled with geniuses that far surpassed the Divine Phoenix continent. The fact that Sun Yuanji was able to stand out and enter the top 20 was a symbol of strength. It was a symbol of status. He had reason to be proud, especially when facing Ling Xiao, this kind of martial artist who came from a small place. He had even more such qualifications. Ling Xiao was merely a candidate martial artist who was invited to be cannon fodder. How could he compare to him? This kind of candidate martial artist who went through layers upon layers of selections and finally stood out. The surrounding crowd also had the same thoughts. Their gazes, when looking at Sun Yuanji, all revealed fear and reverence. People looked at Ling Xiao, hoping to see the same reverence and fear in Ling Xiao's eyes. However, they were disappointed. When they saw Ling Xiao, what exuded from his eyes was iciness and disdain. The expression on his face was actually filled with mockery. Being able to participate in the White Tiger Tempest meet is very worthy of being proud. You said that you stood out through layers upon layers of selections. Could it be that our Dragon Phoenix Continent's candidate martial artists all didn't go through selections? Ling Xiao gave Sun Yuanji a glance, truly feeling that this person was ignorant enough. For this White Tiger Tempest meet on the Divine Phoenix Continent, quite a few young geniuses died. He, Ling Xiao, was similarly nearly killed. And these efforts were actually not worth mentioning in the eyes of others. Isn't that so? You just didn't meet any of the Tianhai Empire's candidate martial artists. Otherwise, how could you still be alive? Sun Yuanji sneered disdainfully. He, Ling Xiao, smiled faintly. I didn't meet any? Looks like you really don't care about me. You didn't even investigate what I did after coming to the Tianhai Empire. You know Water God Hall's #1 hero, the Dragon Crown Prince, right? They were also candidates for the White Tiger Tempest meet, but I killed them all. And you know Wonder Tower, right? When I was on the 15th floor, I accidentally killed a few of your Tianhai Empire's so-called genius martial artists. They were also candidates for the White Tiger Tempest meet. Moreover, their expressions and tone at that time were simply too similar to yours right now. The same ignorance, the same idiocy. Oh, right, your younger brothers Sun Wuji and Sun Wushuang were also candidates for the White Tiger Tempest meet, right? I'm sorry, they were too weak, so I killed them too. If you tell me that the Tianhai Empire's trash were all selected through a selection process, then I'll be very disappointed. I wonder where your arrogance comes from. As soon as these words came out, the crowd immediately burst into cries of surprise. Many people felt like their heads were about to explode. The amount of information was just too much. They could only vaguely tell that this person, surnamed Ling, was a martial artist from the Dragon Phoenix Continent and seemed to be the celestial emperor of some celestial empire. However, they had no idea what Ling Xiao had done after coming to the Tianhai Empire. They believed that the worst candidate of the Tianhai Empire was stronger than the strongest candidate of the Dragon Phoenix Continent. However, Ling Xiao's words were like a clap of thunder, blasting these people silly. Lu Qing stared at Ling Xiao, flabbergasted. He knew that Ling Xiao was exceptionally talented and daring. However, he never expected that this young man would kill several so-called geniuses participating in the White Tiger Tempest meet so soon after coming to the Tianhai Empire. Lu Lian looked at Ling Xiao, and the adoration in her eyes did not change. She liked Ling Xiao, not because Ling Xiao was powerful, but because Ling Xiao saved her and her father. She felt that this man could be entrusted to her for the rest of her life. So what? It still doesn't change the fact that you're trash. Of those people you killed, which one of them entered the top 20 of the Tianhai Empire's martial artist candidates. Although Sun Yuanji was also somewhat surprised, he was not overly surprised. With Ling Xiao's strength, if he could kill his younger brother, Sun Wushuang, then killing a few martial artist candidates was not strange. Looks like you won't shed tears until you see the coffin. Ling Xiao sneered. As you said, I indeed haven't killed anyone who entered the top 20 of the Tianhai Empire's martial artist candidates. However, that's only because I haven't encountered them. Today, you'll help me make up for this shortcoming. Arrogant, Sun Yuanji shouted. Your good luck ends here. As he spoke, his fighting spirit erupted, brimming with powerful fighting spirit. Ling Xiao must die. Chapter 1713. To Sun Yuanji, Ling Xiao was an unerasable stain on the Sky Sea Empire. Only by killing him could he wash away this humiliation. Perhaps this is the end of your good fortune. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, similarly erupting with a powerful fighting spirit. He was like an unsheathed, peerless sword, incomparably sharp. He faced Sun Yuanji head-on, not backing down in the slightest. Ha ha ha! I've seen many arrogant people, but this is the first time I've seen someone like you. Although the White Tiger meet didn't officially invite martial artists from the Sky Dragon and Divine Phoenix continents, it did specially invite one or two of the strongest and most dazzling young geniuses from the two continents. But do you know what happened to them? You definitely don't know, or you wouldn't be so arrogant. This young master can tell you that they never entered the second round. They were all eliminated in the first round. Sun Yuanji's words were full of mockery. In the end, the White Tiger meet was a martial arts arena between the four great empires and the righteous sect. The other small countries, including the former Divine Phoenix Empire and Black Crow Empire, were nothing but foils. Perhaps they weren't even foils, but cannon fodder through and through, stepping stones for others to step on. Besides humiliation, there was only humiliation. That's all in the past. I, Ling Xiao, have set foot in the Sky Sea Empire. This humiliation will be thoroughly washed away. Ling Xiao was very calm. He absolutely believed Sun Yuanji's words. But so what? The Divine Phoenix continent and Sky Dragon continent's martial artists weren't good enough not because of their aptitude, but because the mystic world's laws didn't allow them to become stronger. At the same time, they also lacked more powerful martial arts and better resources. But now, the situation was different. The Sky Dragon continent and Divine Phoenix continent had merged, and the mystic world's laws had changed. The resources that had been extinct on the two continents had reappeared. The Celestial Empire had to get a good ranking in this year's White Tiger Storm meet. He was one, Dan Feng was another, and perhaps Cold Plum and Long Chin could also obtain a good ranking. It was time to change the history of martial artists from the other side being cannon fodder. You are quite confident. However, every cultivator who has been invited to participate in the White Tiger Storm meet is very confident. They all thought that they could amaze the world with a single brilliant feat, however. The ending is very cruel. Sun Yuanji sneered. Ha ha! What's the point of saying so much nonsense? Why don't we fight? We'll know whether you're laughably ignorant or I'm arrogant after the battle. However, after your crushing defeat, you must not cry. Otherwise, that proud hat of yours will definitely fall off. Ling Xiao knew that Sun Yuanji said so much just to strike a blow to his confidence. Unfortunately, no matter what his opponents did, they could not affect him. His will was as firm as a 10,000-year-old boulder. Fine, I'll let you know before you die. That way, you'll know how big the gap is between you and a true genius. Sun Yuanji did not want to waste his saliva. Anyway, no matter what he said, Ling Xiao did not seem to be swayed. After saying that, two strange balls, one black and one white, appeared behind him and began to revolve around his body. This is my martial soul, black and white mysterious jade, Sun Yuanji announced proudly. When the black and white mysterious jade works with my yin-yang revolution, even a mid-yin-yang realm martial artist would fear me. With this combination, I've already killed 2 mid-yin-yang realm martial artists. It's really a waste to kill you. However, to show you your ignorance, I'll do my best. From beginning to end, his words were filled with an overbearing arrogance. Big brotherling, you must be careful. The yin-yang revolution can reverse the yin and yang. It's impossible to guard against it. Lu Lian hurriedly reminded him. No one knew Sun Yuanji better than her. After all, before she lost her cultivation, she had often abused Sun Yuanji. Both yin and yang came from the same source. Her yin-yang fish was stronger than Sun Yuanji's black and white mysterious jade. Reverse yin and yang? This is interesting. Ling Xiao smiled and suddenly thought of something interesting. There was such an ability in his light and shadow ultimacy. Perhaps he could test out its power today and give Sun Yuanji a shock. Wretched woman, you're protecting this adulterer. But so what? Even if he knows my abilities, can he withstand it? Sun Yuanji was very confident and his tone was filled with disdain and arrogance. Obviously, he had absolute confidence in killing Ling Xiao since he dared to reveal his martial soul and cultivation technique. I really want to know, when you're defeated by me, will your arrogance still exist? Ling Xiao's smile was filled with strong confidence. Divine Light Sword, Dark Demon Sword, Massacre Sword, Destruction Sword, Fusion, Dark Massacre Sword, Destructive Light Sword, Sky Demon Fighting Spirit, Golden Crow Fighting Spirit. Facing such an arrogant opponent, Ling Xiao planned to defeat him as easily as crushing dry weeds. He held the Destructive Light Sword in his right hand. It was blazing hot. He held the Dark Massacre Sword in his left hand. It was cold and emotionless. A sky demon and a golden crow appeared behind him. They released a strong fighting spirit that caused all the martial artists to tremble. Sun Yuanji had Yang in his right hand and Yin in his left. Ling Xiao was the same, and he was even stronger than his opponent. Is the Yin-Yang revolution very powerful? Is the black and white Xian jade martial soul very powerful? You're really a frog at the bottom of a well. In terms of darkness and light, I'm not targeting anyone. In front of me, you're all trash. Ling Xiao held the sword with both hands and was domineering. He was like a demon god floating in midair. His black pupils were filled with disdain and mockery. In the next moment, he opened the Tai Chi eye in his left eye. His black and white pupils were filled with wisdom and calculation. He opened the 3-leaf demonic eyes in his right eye. The 3 green pupils were like 3 leaves. They shot out a strange and soul-stirring light. You said that I can't block your attack. Why should I block it? I don't need to be so passive against you. As soon as he finished speaking, Ling Xiao took a step forward and teleported right in front of Sun Yuanji, as if he was just inches away. Now, you should think about how you're going to block my attack. The immortal light sword shone with a dazzling light. The golden crow fighting spirit behind him exploded and absorbed the power of the red sun in the sky. It made the sword even brighter. Even the air seemed to be burning. The dark massacre sword stabbed out from the shadows. The sky demon fighting spirit exploded, and the black killing intent exploded in the void. Sun Yuanji's face turned cold. They were so close. Such a terrifying sword intent of massacre and destruction. He found it difficult to adapt to such a terrifying power. In a hurry, he clasped his hands and punched out. A black and white Tai Chi diagram appeared in the sky. The power of ice and fire burned in the Tai Chi diagram and was released. Boom! However, the hasty attack was meaningless. The terrifying sword intent of the destructive light sword tore the void and cut the Tai Chi diagram in half. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.